So, for the past several days, the talks of the streets and taverns has all been about the so-called death curse, a wasting disease afflicting everyone who's ever been raised from the dead. Victims grow thinner and weaker each day, slowly but steadily sliding towards the death they once denied. When they finally succumb, they can't be raised, and neither can anyone else, regardless of whether they've ever received that miracle in the past. Temples and scholars of divine magic are all at a loss to explain this curse that has affected the entire region and possibly the entire world. You all have been invited to the home of Sindra Sylvain, a retired adventurer and merchant. You can take this time to say you're in front of this mansion right now, this very, very large building in Waterdeep. It's a cool day, kind of a little bit chilly almost. And as you sit in front of or stand in front of this very large mansion, you can see other adventurers who've come that you may recognize, you may not recognize. But at this point, you guys can introduce yourselves to each other. If you know each other, now's the time to acknowledge that. But you guys are standing in front of this mansion, so what are you doing?
Hail and well met.
Ew.
I'm cleaning my armor and I pretty much ignore you guys.
Well,
I'm checking out the waitresses. Wait, tavern or mansion?
you're standing in front of a mansion, so I hope you're not.
Staring through the window of a nearby
Quite
tavern.
a mansion.
Point. I was
Yes.
confused.
Anyway, well, I am Perrin Nightbreeze, a ranger from the forests, and this is obviously nature trying to reclaim its proper balance, but I will investigate nonetheless.
Oh, so this is what we're doing. Shaito Hill. Yep. Been in the temple a long time, but we're here now.
Are we going with an accent?
You
here?
Irish?
Oh,
Yeah.
Shaito
Are
Hill.
you gonna keep this up the entire campaign?
The entire fucking campaign. We're going to have to deal with my shitty fucking Irish accent.
What's your name?
All
What
right.
was the name again there?
Shaito Hill.
Shiter?
Shite O'Hill.
Shite O'Heal. Yeah. Okay, I did
Along
catch
the
that.
Irish line, your name is literally
you're-
shit.
Yeah,
Yeah, just the
Yep, that is.
I'm
that is
aware.
a piece of-
Thank you.
Just double check it.
Yeah.
My name is Ruse, which is oh shit, I can't remember. I think it's Elvish for rose.
It's shite.
But yeah, like kind of similar. How that comes about, I guess. Yeah. How do you do?
Yes.
good. Well met. Well, I suppose I'll introduce myself. I am Harkin Darkwall.
Wow.
I've been sent by the Lord's Alliance to investigate these strange matters. I'm more or less a peon in the in the guild right now, but I'm here to prove myself, prove I'm a hero. So let's go on in. Let's see what's going on here. Do you know this person that invited
What's actually
anyone?
What'd you
Yes.
say, Michael?
Okay,
Speak up.
so David, back up. This is Sindra Sylvain's mansion.
That's correct.
Okay.
And you've all been invited here or have sought out this person as either you have been approached by someone maybe in the Lord's Alliance, as Brett mentioned, or you heard that this retired adventurer merchant has been reaching out for adventurers to go to Chult to find the reason for this wasting disease.
Okay. So, do any of you actually know what's going on here? What is this place?
I've never even heard of this land called Chult, but it sounds godforsaken.
What is Chult? Where is Chult? Why are we talking about Chult? Are we going to Chult?
Well, that was in the invitation. I think we need to go in the mansion and talk to the lady of the house. Find out what this Chult
Sindra
is.
Sylvain,
Yes.
right?
I tire of inane words and walk up to the front door.
I follow.
Yeah, and I cut you guys off, and I
You
I go in
dash
first.
ahead. Oh
I dash ahead, and
I follow as well.
Okay,
I
Ruse
follow.
like instantly hates already. I don't. Has she met Brett's character yet?
Yeah, just now. I think.
Just now.
Am I supposed to have a map up in front of me?
No, just the main splash screen.
Okay, cool. Tomb of Annihilation.
Because I was feeling like a dumbass wanting to.
So, unfortunately, the only friend that I got put into my notes was Shite. Oh, something.
Oh, heal! Jesus fucking Christ!
So as you guys are
fucking
as you guys
Oh,
are
you would put
bickering on the front step of this mansion, the door opens and you see a uniformed attendant who leans out and says, "Oh, the adventurers. Yes, please come in. Sindra Sylvain is waiting for you. Come on in." And he leads you guys in and leads you to a grand staircase up to the third floor. And he ushers you into a wood-paneled room with a fireplace, some comfortable-looking chairs, and a heavy table bearing goblets and multiple bottles of wine. The darkly paneled walls are hung with maps and sea charts. Racks, shelves, and cabinets hold hundreds more rolled-up maps and charts. A person is seated in an overstuffed chair near the fire. You can't discern a gender because only the person's head emerges from under a heavy blanket draped over the chair, and an embroidered hood and silver mask conceal the wearer's face. Even the person's dry, raspy voice provides no clue. "Help yourselves to wine and seat yourself, friends. I hope I may call you that."
I sit down.
Can I'm gonna take a look at the wine and see what's being offered there.
You just
I'm
kind
gonna
of
take
stand
a
back
seat.
and study everybody.
I'll approach the figure, ignoring the wine.
Like, I don't exactly
arrived
know
and
what's
force the
happening.
line and sit down.
Okay.
Have a sit.
So, as you look at the wine, I mean, it's quite nice wine. It's definitely not the cheap stuff, and there's few varieties, and one or two are open, and there's a bottle opener nearby, and the figure is
that's
just kind of
probably up
studying
to
you the whole time.
Ruse's standards, so she's probably going to pour herself a glass of something. She's going to try to pick something really refined, but inevitably go with like the heaviest of them all.
And you do so, and it's quite good, even though you might not really know what to expect from it. It's still good, but it is a very dark red wine. And as you guys
and
take
she'll
a seat,
sit and sit down. Yeah.
as you guys take a seat, this figure is just staring at you from under these blankets and behind the mask, kind of studying you and taking in the adventures before.
Well, I think we're all assembled. We all got your letter. We want to provide
And,
whatever assistance we can.
Rose's
what the
eyes
fuck
are
do
going
you
to
want?
We need to know who you are.
And the figure takes kind of a deep breath and says, "I was an adventurer years ago. I died once and was raised from the dead. I have since closed that door on the stage of my life. The death curse you've heard about, it has struck me. I don't know how much longer I'll last before I perish. The clerics that I've seen have no help to offer. They're stymied by what is happening. But my contacts in the Harpers have learned that the cause of the death curse is more than likely a necromantic artifact called the Soulmonger. And she's taking these deep breaths. It's very kind of seems like a big effort to get these words out. And says, according to their sources, the Soulmonger is somewhere in Chult.
How reliable are your contacts? Can we trust them?
Probably not very.
I believe that they are very trustworthy, but I think that lots of resources have gone into figuring this out, and I have put lots of resources myself into seeking this out, and I am very confident in Chult being the answer.
And you couldn't find any other cure.
No, trust me, I have expended quite many resources in trying to find a cure, but no one has been any help other than to find the root cause.
And do you know when this actually began? This death curse.
The death curse occurred about 20 days ago to everyone's best math, when people stopped being able to be resurrected.
I want to walk up to him and ask, "Have you tried this one?" and cast Cure Wounds on him.
Okay. You do so, and you kind of see a glint of hope in the eyes behind the mask, but then nothing happens, and I appreciate that, but I believe much stronger magic has failed as well.
Oh, fuck me.
I'll just chuckle at that.
Is there any?
I could try a lay on hands, but I don't think it's going to do it better.
Yeah. I'm curious if this isn't a distasteful question. I'm not the most social creature, but do you know how long you have before you succumb to this?
We have studied all 20 days about this, and while I'm not absolutely sure, I think that they've given me about 70 to 75 days, maybe less.
So I'm sure we're not the only adventure group that you've sent on this quest. Who else have you talked to?
No, I have already sent a few who have not returned.
Did they send any useful information that we can use to?
The useful information that I have gotten from them is that Chult is very dangerous. And some more information about Chult, and
I'll be right back.
okay. I have some information about Chult, and I have spent all my resources gaining these knowledges I have, and I have put together this map that I have before you here, and she points to the table where you guys see a map that's opened up.
Well, where others have failed in the past, I'm sure I will succeed. I'll take up your quest.
Good.
Any chance to vanquish evil.
Are we gonna see this map?
Yeah, you can walk over to it, and this is what you see.
Do you know where your last adventuring party set down?
In Port Nyanzaro, where many Many adventures take place. This is the starting point. When you are ready to depart, since I think you are my last hope, I will teleport us all to Port Nyanzaro, the only major settlement in Chult. I've been there several times before, but I think there's little chance of mishap with the teleportation spell. Once there, I'll stay with a friend named Wakanga Otamu. He's one of the 7 merchant princes who rule the city. And I will probably stay there till either you return successful in your mission, or until I am gone.
I need to know, how widespread will the effects be of destroying this artifact?
I do not know. I do not even know 100%. I'm 98% sure that this is the artifact that is causing it, but I do not know what will happen when it is destroyed, as we know very little about the Soulmonger.
Where on this
I
map
mean,
did
you
the
don't
harbor
even know
say?
if this will work.
Sorry, what were those questions?
Michael asked,
You mean you don't need...
yeah, if you're sure it's going to work.
It's my last chance. I'm going to Chult to push all my chips in on this solution, so you might say.
I have a question. You said that you've been to Chult many times.
Mm-hmm.
Were you ever resurrected on Chult?
As to the details of my previous life before I was resurrected, as I mentioned, I've closed the door on that stage of my life, and it has little to do with Chult.
Okay.
And just to give you some more information about Chult, since none of you seem to be very familiar with it. Chult, it's a peninsula ringed with mountains and choked with rainforests. Enormous reptiles, savage goblins, and an army of undead prowl its jungles and ruins. Mapping this place has always been nigh impossible, and nothing is known about the region's current geography beyond a few miles from the coast. And as I mentioned,
Well,
working from dozens of sea charts, logbooks, and explorers' journals, I've assembled everything known about the current state of Chult into this map before you.
side is it sounds like any of the undead that are currently roaming should also be suffering from this, and probably won't be quite as much of a challenge.
That
If I
is a
understand
good
correctly.
theory. I hope you're correct, as there's so many of them.
Okay, that's an ominous response.
Great.
No.
Maybe you'll turn undead instead of dying. We'll
I've always been...
continue living just as an undead.
the wilderness has
That's
always
a fun
called to
thought.
me.
That'd be
And
terrifying.
mapping out some more of Chult sounds like a worthy adventure in itself.
This curse is bad for business. Cures for things when you've got something that big looming over your head.
Yes, it's very troublesome, in the least. But as I mentioned, when you're ready to depart, I will teleport us. Until then, I'm going to rest if you don't have any more questions.
I think we lost Jason, didn't we?
I think we did.
They said, come
Crap.
back.
Well,
Yeah.
he said he would be RB.
Yeah, and then he disconnected.
Yeah, I didn't think you would
Be.
go offline.
Um, let's see. Do we have do you have any oh wait, welcome to Shul. No, that's not it. David, do you have like a handout of that artifact we're looking for? I'm gonna forget the name of it.
I will put it in the chat real quick.
Soulmonger.
Okay.
It was a Deathmonger?
Soulmonger. Okay. I need to figure out a way to
Soulmonger.
Yeah, is there a way to take notes in the?
Hey, you get a pen and paper and you set it beside you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
I
open
did
a
that
notepad
for a long time, but
on your
So
PC.
1990s.
Open a notepad on your PC and type it in.
Mm-hmm. I could. I mean,
I'm gonna find a better way.
okay.
There must be a better way.
Gotta be.
I'm also recording this session and I'll put it on YouTube and you guys can access it once it's uploaded.
I will actually BRB as I go and find a notebook because I am so 90s.
I'm just gonna try and remember it.
I'm just going to put notes in my allies and organizations. You know, we're going with the loose definition of organization. This is my effort at organization.
There's a journal tab, but you can't like custom add journal entries.
I can do something real quick, I think, for you guys. Mandy can be edited by Mandy. Save changes. You should now have a mysterious note in your journal that you can edit. Is that true, Mandy?
I have a mysterious note I can edit. Yes.
Okay.
Let's see here. Am I able to actually type in this though? Yeah, it looks like a little bit.
Then you should
Okay.
be able to save it.
Okay.
I'll give that to everyone real quick.
Oops. For some reason, I have like 2 avatars. I don't know why.
What was the name of this person again? Sylvain?
Yeah.
Do you have a bio on her or a profile or?
Nope. Just what you've been told. That it's a figure that has a
picture?
very... Nope. Just the mask in front of... and the many blankets that they're wearing.
Yay, paper.
What was it? Sylvain?
Syndra Sylvain.
Syndra. Okay. How do you spell that?
Syndrasilvane. Oh, I need
It's simply because it's been so long since I've played this that I am just observing and trying to get my bearings.
Well, we're all getting a mysterious note.
Yeah, so you should
Yeah,
be able to
journal tab.
edit and type it.
You know I like my notes.
Can I do a check to see just like how, I don't know, how good natured this Syndra person is?
She's plays it very close to the vest. Do not ask about my past, you fuckers.
Yeah, give me a perception check.
That's not a great one.
So since you're close, you're up close to this person. You do notice that behind the mask there are quite a few bandages wrapped around this person, and this person is being very guarded, but you don't get any negative vibes off this person.
Okay.
Oh, I mean, you do sense this person is sick, and you believe that they have the curse and want it fixed.
Oh yeah, of course, of
What
course.
supplies do you have to offer us for this journey? Like maybe you have this map, perhaps?
This map is yours. But as far as I guess we should get to the heart of the deal. If you do complete this, I can procure each and every one of you a rare or uncommon magic item of your choice. I will use all the remaining resources I have to get you what you need. You just simply have to ask, and I shall get it for you upon completion of your mission.
Okay.
But as far as resources, I can give you each 50 gold pieces to defray the expenses in Port Nyanzara before you head deeper into Chult.
Very well. Yes.
Very generous of you, but I think
Accepted.
eliminating this evil from the world is going to be reward enough.
And she points to the desk in the back of the study and she says, in there you will find sacks of 50 gold pieces you each may take before we leave.
Surely you have some fine wine we could bring to keep our spirits up on the trip? The jungle is such a forbidding place.
Yes,
Jungle may be more forbidding drunk.
that's very true, but whatever's on the table you may take.
Splendid.
Good night. Do you have, I mean, we're starting off in Port Nazarul. What, do you have any idea where your other party started? Like, where did they just head straight into the jungles? Did they go around the coast? Do you know anything of their journey?
Well, not to insult you, but I have sent far more experienced parties of adventurers before you. They all have disappeared, and I fear the worst, as no word has returned. So, as to exactly how and where they ventured and either survived and took my 50 gold pieces and disappeared, or perished, I do not know.
Oh, that's comforting.
How many parties have you sent to this island in 20 days?
I'm not so certain I want to know the answer to that question.
Well, no matter the number, you are the last I will be able to send.
Again, that's a very ominous way to answer a question, but okay.
Good luck.
It'll be fine.
We're the scrubs.
A jungle is simply a wet forest. If you're smart,
Just their experience made them too arrogant, and they made obvious mistakes that more cautious, more inexperienced not do.
Well,
Then we will all have to stay cautious. Now, I didn't get everyone's
put the
name
wine
on the way
down.
in. My name is Ruse Vanya. I'm a skilled fighter. I spend most of my time out in the wilderness. I'm really more worried about having to be sober in the jungle than I am about the jungle. Anyway, what are all of y'all's names? I did, of course, meet Shite O'Heal. Lovely fellow, it seemed. And what were y'all's names?
I am Perrin Nightbreeze. I'm a wood elf ranger from the forests of Faerun. That's all you really need to know about me for now.
I'm Harkin. Paladin with the Lord's
Okay.
Alliance. How can we is there a way to put like names under their tokens, or like maybe you guys can update the names on the
Yeah,
under character blocks at the bottom?
let's see that.
Follow-up question: is there a
Because I
way
put
to make
Harkin
the
on
big
mine.
bottom go away so that I can?
Yeah, so go to the settings, and
Where
then
are the settings? They're there.
it's the like gear thing on the top right, and then at the bottom there's player avatar size. Set it to names only,
Sweet, thank you.
and then you can
Extremely
update.
irritating.
Yeah, you can update your display name. Like I put Harkin.
Yeah, in the chat you can post as your
There.
name or as one of your characters.
Yeah, so I put my character's name there.
Yeah. That'll help.
Sweet.
It'll take a couple minutes, but I think we'll get it.
Are you
And
seeing
Ellie,
the
what
nameplates
was-
now?
Yeah, I see mine.
What about
I
other
see
people?
mine. I don't see others.
I don't
just
see anyone
mine.
else's.
I don't see others either.
Okay. Let me see if I can fix that.
Ellie, what's your character?
Or Don.
And that's your paladin?
My little man whore bard who,
Bard, okay.
quote unquote, magic potions.
It's the,
Shit.
the yellow. No, wait. I want to say you're yellow, but you guys can't see the borders on your own
I'm yellow.
tokens. Oh, you are yellow.
Yeah, I can see the borders. There's a lot of them.
So to sum it up, I'm the man whore con man.
There's a goddamn Donald Trump on here. Son of a bitch, David.
And Barney.
That's
Barney
because
and Jim Carrey I can live with, but fucking Trump.
And that face man.
can you guys see each
That
other's
big.
names now?
yeah, I can.
Okay.
Yeah.
All but the dark blue.
Yeah, that one I don't have either.
You don't have Harkins? Okay, let's fix that.
Really?
Really.
You're
Boom.
just
I
not
don't
loved by
believe
the
you.
system. Sorry.
All right, I'm giving Jason one more minute, and then we're gonna move on, just because I.
He's back.
I am.
Bye.
Sorry, guys.
All right.
heard him.
Family aggro.
Do you have any questions for Syndra before we move on? Jason.
Oh no.
Shadow Heel's just getting drunk.
Put the goddamn liquor down, man. So many have died.
two drunks on this adventure. That'll be.
What the fuck's been happening? I have no fucking clue where we are. What's going on?
Oh, I'm gonna kill myself.
Well, we were
if I have
just
to
told that
trade
we're the
to-
last group going, and everybody else is far more experienced than us, and that we're pretty much a bunch of last resort scab, piece of shit people that they're sending
It's
because
a
they have no one else.
suicide mission. You can
Die.
say it.
Anyway, we did
All
get 50
going to
gold to
die.
cover some supplies, so add that.
Oh, I should put that in my thingy.
Yep.
Technical term. My
Right.
thingy.
And there's
Think
now
a bunch of
mysterious
fucking
notepad
pansies.
if you want to take notes. Not like you will do that, but there.
We'll take notes
There
for
we
you.
go.
I am ready to go.
Okay, so everybody is ready, I take it?
I'm ready.
Okay, everybody
Guess as ready as I'll ever be.
stand in a circle and hold hands so the teleportation spell doesn't have any accidents.
Before I grab anybody's hand, does anybody have anything that's infectious?
I'm only kidding, you just need to stand near me.
Oh, Christ, thank you.
Infectious smile.
Okay.
I stand near her and look around, just. Oh, my.
So you
Yes.
see her get up out of the chair, and she pushes off the shoulders of the chair and slowly gets up and leans closer to you and kind of falters a little bit, but rights herself and stands a little proud and kind of shrugs everything off. And you can see her focus and puts her hands out, and you see a blue light glow from them and kind of envelops you, and you get this funny tingling feeling in your navel as the entire room spins and sucks in, and you hear a
Ooh.
loud pop.
What's that in me fucking gut?
And instantly, you guys went from this smoky room to this loud heat just hits you, and your eyes kind of like are adjusting, but in front of you, you see this sight.
Jesus, that's a fucking dinosaur!
Bruze is taken aback. She does spend most of her time outside of the cities, so this is like a bit much.
It's got a fucking saddle on it.
You guys hear a litany of things, and you feel the heat, just overwhelming heat, press around you.
But is it a dry heat?
No, it is a very wet heat. Very, very humid. So
It's not the heat, it's the humidity.
you appear in a tropical city under the blazing sun. The familiar sounds of a harbor, creaking, ropes slapping waves, heavy barrels rolling across the cobblestone, mingles with voices shouting and cursing in an unfamiliar language filled with clicks, inhalations, and sing-songy words that make it sound almost musical. The aroma of unfamiliar spices and tropical fruit mixed with the wharf-side smells of fish, tar, and canvas. Beyond all that, Port Nyanzara, which you are now in, is an explosion of color. Buildings are painted in bright shades of blue, green, orange, and salmon pink. Or their walls are adorned with murals portraying giant reptiles and mythical heroes. Every building sports baskets and clay urns of colorful flowers or is draped in leafy, flowering vines. Minstrels in bright clothing adorned with feathers and shells perform on the street corners. Multicolored pennants and sun awnings flutter atop the city walls. Right in front of you, a crowd of children dressed in feathered hats and capes races past you, squealing in delighted terror as a street performer costumed as a big toothed lizard stomps and roars behind them. The whole city seems to be bustling, sweating, laughing, swearing, and singing before you. You guys are in Port Nyanzaro.
It'd be a nice place to set up shop if it weren't for the horrific heat and death.
Miserable heat?
Yes, it is about 85 degrees and very muggy. You guys find yourself specifically on the map right here.
I think there's fucking velociraptors here. I heard one.
Tyr's name is a
what?
velociraptor. Do those things eat meat?
Hey.
Well,
There it is again. You hear it?
I'm putting
Okay,
your
I've got
icon here for the party. This is where you guys are, down
Oh my
here.
God.
got it.
So you're at a port. You see some ships behind you, the sights in front of you, some buildings around you, and actually, Syndra kind of stumbles as she is obviously shaken from this great amount of effort to teleport you to where you are now. As she kind of catches herself on, actually, I think Harkin, she stumbles and catches your shoulder and stands a little straight after a second and says, "Oh, I recommend that you secure a room for yourselves at the Thundering Lizard if you're looking for a raucous time, or Kaya's House of Repose if you want a good night's sleep. Both inns are located near the Red Bazaar, which is southward, and she points down that way, and says, "Meanwhile, I'm going to head to the villa of the merchant prince Wakanga Otamu. As I mentioned, I intend to stay there for the remainder of my time. If you wish to come and see me
You're
or meet Wakanga, you're free to do so."
Can we assist you in taking you to the merchant prince? I'd like to meet this fella.
Of course, that might be a good idea.
Be back in just a minute. I'm following you guys while I'm gone.
Okay. What's the prince's name again? Tangu?
Wakanga Otamu.
What? Spell that? Wakanga.
O''Tamu.
Okay.
To the merchant prince is where we're going.
I believe so. That's what you guys are doing, right?
Yeah,
That
that's
is
fine.
what Harkin would like to do.
Okay. So she starts to lead the way, and as she goes, she walks and has you guys follow behind her. And as you guys walk, you do see some medium and large sized dinosaurs, and it appears that they're being used as beasts of burden. Some are hauling two-wheeled carts. You see some hoisting heavy loads on cranes and towing boats along the canals, and pretty much seem to be a part of the everyday life here. And as you guys make your way up, you do notice that there's multiple tiers to this city. There's hills that certain areas are built on. There's many walls surrounding areas, and bridges connecting areas. So it seems like a very fortified, alive city. You do see flowers on almost every building, and very multiple colored decorations on all of these. And one of the things you notice is there's a lot of ditches on the sides of every road in every area that seem to be like rain gutters built into the city. And as you move through the city, she takes you up slowly up to a building up in this area right here. And she approaches this building, and you see there are a few guards out in front of it, and there's quite a lot of people on the street at this time. You guys are here at about 10 a.m., and the city is already alive and bustling with people moving towards the south. Something you might notice about this map is it is tilted, so the south is to where the east would usually be, and you can see the compass rose on the lower right hand corner pointing out where the directions are. So if I say south and point to the left of the map, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, gotcha.
And the guards seem to recognize Syndra, and they allow you to enter into the merchant prince's building. And as we go there, you guys enter this very extravagant plaza-like building. You're entered in through two doors, and these very armored people on the inside of the doors let you into next door. And you go into what seems to be sort of like a waiting room. There's these magical-looking globular lanterns of light, and you do see quite opulent decorations around. And Syndra, she seems, very weak, and actually reaches out to you again, Harkin, for an arm to help carry her.
Of course, of course. Can I help you into the estate here?
Mm-hmm. She said, "Yes, please."
All right.
And
Lead her up.
So you do see, there's a couch to your guys' left. There's a water pool to the center, and it's actually um, quite nice. And you do hear some soft music playing. You don't see the source of this playing, but it's kind of echoing throughout um, the villa, and you do see a few swords mounted on the walls. Um, you see some very nice, colorful rugs on the floor underneath where you're stepping. Um, so it's quite nice in here, and I'll wait until Ellie gets back before.
I just didn't want to interrupt.
Oh yeah, no worries. So you're back.
I have arrived. You may now begin. The ego in that statement, right?
So Wakanga Otamu approaches you guys, and this is what he looks like.
I keep hearing
Nice
Wakanda,
beard.
and I keep like
Wakanda.
jokes about special metal and shit.
I mean, this adventure was written before Black Panther, so.
Yeah.
Where it was written
Yeah.
as a comic.
Yeah, I mean, Black Panther's been
Well,
around.
bam.
So he approaches and almost like ignores looking at you guys at first, and just immediately walks towards Syndra and grabs her and hugs her very deep and kind of squeezes her. You can hear like out of Syndra, and he pulls back and looks at her and says, "Oh, it's been a very long time, Syndra." And she says, "Yes, yes."
And now you are breaking.
And he looks, who's brought you to my villa? And he looks at you guys.
Well met, Prince Wakanga.
Ah,
It's our
well
pleasure.
met. Well, let me introduce myself. And he kind of still holds on to Syndra, but like steps out and kind of flourishes his robes in front of you, and you can see they're very colorful. And he says, "I am Wakanga. I deal with knowledge, information, lost lore, potions, and scrolls. I know why you have come here." And he looks at Syndra and he says, "The death curse, but I know little about it. But I assume that you are looking to end the curse and have been hired by Syndra. So, welcome to my villa. Is there anything I can do to help you all?"
Well, yeah, a man of knowledge is just who we want to see right now. I suppose the group probably
And
has-
your presence is beyond appreciated, my grace. Well met, Wakanga. My name is Ruse. I am from a distant land.
Ah, very good. Well, welcome to Chilt. I hope it's not too hot for you.
It's the humidity.
I'm sure we'll get used
Sorry,
to
you
it.
opened the door there. I had to say it.
And as you kind of take in Wakanga, you've noticed that he's definitely been staring at Ruse the whole time and has eyed her up and down once or twice, and it seems to be addressing her mostly.
Oh yeah, and when he said, "I hope it's not too hot for you," she just like did not even understand that was a joke, and is just like blinking and just accepting that that's his hope.
Mm-hmm. And you even see Syndra kind of like poke him when he made that joke, like kind of like stop it, like type of move. He said, "Yes, as I mentioned."
Feeling Wakanga's a dad.
Come on, kid.
As I mentioned, I deal with potions and scrolls and some knowledge, but unfortunately I don't have much about this death curse. And
Well,
Well,
we've been told to seek out the soulmonger for destroying it.
oh, and then he looks at Syndra and she nods and he goes, "Oh, I am not familiar on those details, but I hope you succeed in your goal. You guys are just looking to do good. Is that correct?"
Correct. Since no one else seems to be answering, it is making us look very dubious at the moment.
Well,
The wasting disease needs to end. That's really all I care about right now.
well, that's
Do you
good.
perhaps have any useful information about Schultz as a whole? Safe places to rest, safe havens, more dangerous areas we may travel through, that sort of thing?
Well, I'm sure that you might need specific, how you say, guides to help you through Chult and its wildernesses. I think that it's very important for you to have a guide and maybe get some good materials to help you on your journey. I think that the jungle is very uh, and what's the word? Deadly.
It's the word.
Would,
It's gonna kill you.
So make sure you are equipped with the right things before you head out. Um, the bazaar, Red Bazaar, might be the best place for you to look for those types of materials. And since you guys are looking to do good in Jolt, I'm sure it's not just limited to the soulmonger, as you say. Um, I actually have something for you. And he reaches in his robes and pulls out a tattered, water-damaged book, and he says, "This is an explorer's journal that was brought out of the jungle 15 years ago. In it, it describes a wizard's exploration of various places in Chult, but not enough detail to locate exactly where he was. But the unnamed author does, however, make mention of his only traveling companion, a shield guardian named Vaughn. Um, since you are doing good, I will give it to you, and um, I can show you on the map where this shield guardian was found. Um, and he'll mark your map, and I'll put that on there for you guys.
Okay.
And in this journal contains a picture of Vaughn's control amulet, but it provides no clues to the amulet's current whereabouts. And as reward for finding and retrieving the construct and its controlled amulet, I could give you a spell book containing maybe 15 spells. I can start working on it now, but that's something that I can give to you if you bring that to me."
yes,
Okay.
we will do our best to locate this.
But other than that, as I mentioned, I deal in potions and scrolls, so if you would like to purchase some, I will gladly give you the friends and family discount.
Ah, very good.
We would also. Do you have
I
any
would like
recommendations?
this friends and family discount.
Okay, well,
Do you have a recommendation on guides and where to procure a guide?
yes, at the taverns, many guides hang out, and there's usually a bulletin board of some available. We have a very strict system when it comes to guides. They owe much of their money to one of the merchant princes, and if they work outside of that merchant prince, they can be punished in many different ways, and it's very important for them to pay fealty to the specific prince merchant. You guys
Well,
are
you know
aware of the
how.
merchants, right?
Well, why don't you walk us through
I
the ruling structure here? We understand there's 6 other merchant princes, correct?
Pretend we just appeared.
Oh, okay. I mean, I didn't know how much Syndra had told you guys, but
First day.
Akinafa deals in weapons, shields, traveling gear, rain catchers, saddles, wagons, and canoes. Anyone who sells those goods pays Akinafa. Ifen Talrao deals in beasts and beast trainings. Jessamine deals in plants, poison, and the occasional assassination. Oh, yes, and since you're adventurers, I trust you are very good, but do not kill anyone without Jessamine's approval.
Or
Or fucking what?
what if they deserved it?
Well, you can pay her to get a sanction. This is a writ that allows killing by ordained methods, usually poison or stabbing with a blade. But for an added fee, her agents will actually carry out the assassination for you,
Well, that's handy.
with results guaranteed. Yes, very handy. But as I mentioned, poison
Money
is her
back
specialty.
guarantee?
She has a vast personal collection of poison, so do not cross Jessamine.
Let me
Jobel.
ask.
Yes,
well,
yes.
Does her kingdom lay beyond this city, or is this? Do I need permission to slay beasts in the jungle, or what
No,
do
this
we-
is purely in the city of Chult. Next up is Jobel. Jobel
What?
deals in guides and sellswords. As I mentioned, any guide you choose pays much of their money to Jobel.
Okay.
And then there is Quayothe. Quayothe deals in fruit, wine, ale, tej, oil, perfume, and insect repellent, which is quite necessary.
And what do you deal in,
Let's
friend?
him first.
Magics
We'll
and
be visiting
lore.
this guy.
New magics and lore.
I am the only arcane spellcaster among all of the merchant princes.
Since you deal in
One would
lore,
think
do
that
you
gives
have
you a
any?
distinct advantage.
Do you deal in? Have you any lore regarding this soulmonger stone? artifact?
Unfortunately not. That would be very profitable right about now.
Yes, wouldn't it?
Do you know who might?
I don't think anybody in Chult, or Port Naranzayo, I should say, knows specifically about this.
Perhaps a historian of the area? Somebody who's explored further and somehow managed to survive coming back?
I'm not aware of it, but if you hear anything, please let me know. That's something I would pay quite a good coin for.
Good to know.
And trust me, I've
Well.
had my feelers out. But the last is Zanti. Zanti deals in gems, jewelry, cloth, and armor. So as you can see, we all have our own pieces of the pie, and
Suppose
together,
there's specifically somebody who serves pie.
well, at the Red Bazaar, you can get quite many pastries and food and items and
It's
many
going to be a
inns
long
around
trip. Guilty pleasures.
Well, heading
Would you
into
mind
the
marking?
jungle. Let's see.
Would you mind marking the location of the merchant princes on our map for future reference?
Yes, I think I can. I think they won't get too mad at me for that. we'll just push you guys out here.
Just push us around. I see how you are.
But I guess like any time in the future we want to go somewhere.
Yeah,
Just
and
pretend we
he'll
know
give
where
you
to go.
the general areas of them, and his places in red here.
Okay.
Then he
Yep.
mentions, he says
Oh, I need to
south.
zoom the fuck out.
Yeah, he says south of the temple with a large eye on it. Or sorry, not south. I just fucked it up. East of the temple of the large eye.
South of the map were adjusted properly, and it was still like this. No.
Yes.
No, why didn't they just rotate the damn thing?
Fun
good,
would that
we're good.
be?
Because they don't know how maps work.
To like tilt my head.
Different universe maps might work
That's
like
better.
this. We don't know.
All right.
Well, let's see. Heading into a jungle, I'm thinking potions here.
Bug spray.
Repellent.
Um,
Lots and lots and lots of insect repellent.
Yes.
I'm gonna run to the
Bug-
bathroom real quick,
Bug
you guys.
bites.
I'll be right back.
I guess
Well, I
we should.
think we need to go to the Red Bazaar and find a guide.
Well, let's before we leave, I think we should at least see what he's got to sell.
Or potions, right? But yeah,
Go
so
with those list of princes by chance, because I think I got 2.
Yes.
Alpha
There
and-
is
I failed to even up.
with weapons and some other things that I missed. Tulral, beasts in training. Jessamine, plants, poison,
Sins.
and assassination. Jobal is guides and sell swords.
and maps.
And maps, thank you. And I missed the others.
Okay, so what was after Akeen Alpha?
That's where I'm at.
Wait. Start from the beginning.
Akeen Alpha was weapons and some other things that I did not catch.
Yeah, and then the next one was.
Shields, gear. Okay, here's
What
a
was
hint.
the name?
There's a website called forgottenrealms.fandom.com. It's got a wiki on
Hey,
it.
no
Hey,
cheating.
no,
Goddamn
that's
wiki.
No
cheating.
cheating.
But if you only look up the information he already told.
Ellie, are you in the Dungeons and Dragons text group?
I think so.
On
It's
Discord.
not outside with me right now, but it'll when I go back inside, it'll be there.
Okay, I'm dumping what I told you guys in there.
Yeah, nice. Okay.
Isn't there like a
Sick.
NPC, like the handout for Wakanga that for each that you could give us?
I stick it in Discord. We can pin it.
No. Okay. Do we have to go
What's-
meet them first or something?
Maybe. I mean, that's not necessarily part of any of the missions you have. And these people mentioned Wakanda. I almost called him Wakanda. Wakanga mentioned that that merchants
I win.
pay these princes for the rights to sell these items. So anytime they sell something, they pay fealty to these princes. So anybody possibly anybody who's selling these goods should be paying these princes for these items.
But it's my understanding we can go shop in the bazaar. We don't need to visit the
Right.
merchant princes.
Need to know who's in charge so we know who not to piss off.
Yeah.
Or either they're
Or
not
who
going to
to
let them
piss
sell
off.
to us, or they're going to have them raise their prices, jack up their shit, maybe send Jessamine after us,
Yeah.
And as you mentioned that you would
Things
like
after
to
us.
purchase from Wakanga, he does give you the family and friends rate, and any potion that's common is 80 gold pieces. Any potion that's uncommon is 300 gold pieces. A first level spell scroll is 100 gold pieces, and a second level spell scroll is 550 gold pieces.
So,
And he says,
oh, shit.
unfortunately, I can't take credit for these either. Must be cash only.
Can I get half of a healing potion?
Yeah, how much was that?
And so he chuckles, and he comes closer to you, Ruse, and says, half of a potion. What was your name again?
My name
it's
is
after my
Ruze
heart.
Vanya, but I'm starting to think that this is a bit of a suicide mission, so it's not gonna matter too long.
Oh, Rose. I hope it's not. May I call you Rose?
What kind of
He says, and he holds up a finger to you, like
I mean, you
puts
want to
his
call
hand
him
up,
wacky
puts a
and
finger
stuff.
towards you, and says, Rose.
Sure. Anyway, what do you have in the armory that you could lend us? And I'm going to spin around and sort of like start exploring the area.
I'll put us back in the prince area.
Alright, I pinned those in the Discord so we can find them later.
Nice. Okay.
All right. So if you need any idea of potions that are available, I just
Yes, please.
drop them
Thank you.
because he kind of gives you a list. Only the common and uncommon are available for potions.
Okay.
And as you guys may or may not know, spell scrolls, you can't use them if they're not your class. So if you're not like a wizard, you can't use wizard spells, etc. And so if you have something that you know you want to buy and you have the gold for it, you can buy it. But I don't think anyone has individually 100 gold pieces or 550 gold pieces just yet.
Yes.
And that was with the discount?
And
Oh,
he
good sir.
smiles a toothy grin at you and focuses back on Rose. And he actually claps his hands.
This
And
man is my kin.
a few people come in and he says, Syndra, I'm so sorry I've left you waiting so long. Let me get you to your room and we'll get food sent up right away. As to you, and he points to Ruse, or how do you say your name? He's calling you Rose, but how do you say your name?
Ruze.
Ruse. He says, yes, I do recommend that if you do get a hotel, you can let them
We'll
know
leave the door unlocked.
that they can send a message to me to possibly visit you if that's okay with you.
I'll keep that in mind.
Okay, yes, no pressure, no pressure. And he steps back a bit. He kind of thinks that he might have stepped over the line and starts looking at you all again, and then is kind of removing his pressure, so to speak.
Right, well,
I turn to you guys and say, I think it's time to go. Let's head out.
One last question. Where does somebody go to get work, get paid? Because shit's expensive here.
Oh, well, tomorrow is actually the dinosaur races. You could gamble there. There are probably a few jobs you could pick up at the dock if you're looking to hunt some pirates, or maybe there's some mercenary work you could do at one of the forts across the water. There's some. He's like thinking. He says, but for me, mostly if you can bring back that guardian, that would be great.
The Guardian. I'm sorry, I kind of drifted off there for a minute. What Guardian?
Vorn, the wizard's journal that I provided you, please.
All right.
Is there something you could post into the chat on that one?
Yeah.
Hunting pirate sounds fun.
Yeah.
I'm sure I could find some suckers to sell some shit to.
My Roll20 is running like shit.
What browser are you using?
Google Chrome.
Microsoft Edge works really well with Roll20. Chrome eats up fucking RAM.
Okay. Microsoft Edge.
Yep.
Out of like kind of choppy
Yeah.
from everyone. Is that what you're getting?
Yeah, it's like the voice kind of like stretches out almost. It has trouble processing.
It's kind of like talking to somebody with a bad connection.
Yeah.
I can do something about that, I'm pretty sure.
It's only when you like zoomed into inside the room that my computer's just not handling it. I just have a piece of shit because I need to get a better computer. That's my problem.
Yeah, I thought you were gonna get a business laptop.
I have a laptop, and that's
A laptop.
Build some
And I run my
credit. Get
business
another credit
off of
card.
it. Oh yeah, yes, that's what I need. Another fucking bill.
That's always good advice. All right.
Yeah.
Well, since we aren't affording any potions, let's. Oh, maybe we can get some bug spray.
Yes, yes, very much so.
I think I'd like to take a bath. So,
Oh yes, he says. Actually, he hears you saying that, and he says, "There's actually to the north is a temple that is dedicated to." And he looks at you guys and says, "The finer pursuits of visual presentation that you might find useful." Schultz is very hot, and many people get very sweaty. There's a few public bath houses, and this one is, I think, the most reputable, the one to the north of us.
I think I'm getting his meaning, and
Yes.
probably want no part.
Right.
And he says, "Well, it is the Temple of Sun, and
Soon.
it is the northwestmost building. You must cross a bridge to get there, but you all should have no problem getting in."
Thank you very much. We appreciate all the information and knowledge you've given us.
You're welcome. Glad to help.
Unless you were just lying the whole fucking time.
Oh my God, that's like.
He was joking. He was totally. It's really hot here. And
Amy's an idiot.
Yes, off we go. Dear. All right.
Okay. So you guys are back in Port Nyanzaro.
All right.
Well,
Well, I'm not concerned about having a bath before I head into the wilderness, but if we're going to be staying around
More
town,
dirty.
perhaps. Let's see.
Yeah, so you
How
guys
much
just
did he
want
say a guide was?
He didn't specifically say. That's something that
Hmm.
you'll probably have to find out when you go to a tavern or specifically like look around for one. So there's like many different things that you could do in the city. Like you could go around specifically looking for information. You could go to a place in the city trying to find stuff. Like since you're the character point that you're at, let me point out. Like directly around you are some more opulent residential areas. You can see towards the south the building that he was describing, you see this great temple, and on the outside dome is a large painting of an eye that's pointed upwards towards the sky. You see some buildings that actually have like some terraces that connect them. You see like a park that has like some shade drawn. That seems to be something where local, very rich people go to spend some time, maybe eat under the shade. And again, you see so many colors around this area, and it's actually a little bit about an hour and a half later. It's about midday. The heat is getting a little more oppressive. It's about 90 degrees. The moisture is coming up. But many of the people around here, they're dressed in light clothing, very bright colors, robe type clothing, and the streets around you are actually, a lot of people are heading southward. And yeah, so you're outside the Merchant Prince's villa, and what are you guys doing?
Oh,
And this is where he pointed you
What do you
towards
guys-
the bathhouse, kind of.
I don't know.
Yeah,
yeah.
across the bridge.
If
You
we
guys-
must hire a guide, that should be our first priority. I have 60 gold. How much is a guide?
We don't know
75.
yet, but I agree that that is a priority.
Yeah.
At least until I've had a chance to learn the terrain myself.
Should we?
I think perhaps the bazaar is not a terrible place to start.
Do you guys want to stop at the temple of the eye thingamajig on the way there? Not really sure what it is, but
Sounds good.
If it keeps getting mentioned, it's
Will we
probably
find a
worth
guide
going
there?
there.
yeah.
Okay.
So where are you guys going?
Well, we need to go south to the bazaar anyway, and so we were gonna check out the temple on the way there.
Okay. So as you guys
Yeah,
walk
let's stop in
towards the temple, one of the things that you see as you get close, so you do see this monstrous eye at the top of this temple, and it's quite large. I mean, it's a doesn't seem super old building, but it seems like it's been painted quite often. Like it's very fresh design, and a very almost ominous looking eye, monstrous eye that's looking to the sky. And as you approach, you see a very old man surrounded by three what look like white robed people, and they're arguing about something as you guys approach. How do you guys approach
It's my
this?
phone.
I'd like to just
Um,
get closer and listen in.
Well, like, does it look like it's about to become super violent, or is it just like kind of a heated exchange?
Ruse and Harkin, roll me a perception check.
Oh boy, gotta remember that.
Ooh, that's much better than the other one.
So, Ruse is kind of just sees, oh, these people are having a colorful conversation. Or, wait, what's the difference? There we go. Why did you roll twice? Or is that just your previous one? That's just your previous one.
That's
Okay.
an old one. Yeah.
So both of you guys pick up so let's see. As you guys approach, specifically Ruse and Harkin pick up some specific words that are yelled a little louder than others. You can't necessarily hear what the old man is saying, but what the younger, more ominous looking people are saying, you can hear. some words you can hear and others you can't because of the fluctuation in their tones and the fact this is a very busy area of the city. But you do hear the words, Artisimber, where is he? And one pulls out something from their pocket and you can hear, Rubia's payment. And you can sort of perceive that these three people aren't having the best of intentions, and the older person is looking around almost as if to find a way out of this situation. Not necessarily like he is fearing for his life, but wants out of this conversation.
I'm going to approach it and be like, hey, there you are. I've been looking for you.
Oh, fucking Christ.
And the old man immediately says, "Oh, yes, yes, I owe you the fortune. Please come here." And you kind of see looks to each other from the three figures, and you can even pick up one saying, "Ah, fucking hell!" And he slowly puts the large ruby, which you can see with that perception check, back into his robes, and they all kind of just look at each other, and one says to the old man, "We'll be back. We need these answers." And they cut tail and they don't run, but they walk away very quickly. And the old man says, "Yes, please, please come here, please, yes, I owe you that. I need to tell
And
you."
I'm gonna try to have like the most natural facial expression ever. Like I'm not actually asking these questions, but I'm gonna be like, "What was that all about?"
Oh yes, I mean I owe you, and he's just looking around like over his shoulder, and yes, come into the temple, and I will tell you your fortune that I owe you. Please come, yes, please. And he points
I'll
to
follow.
the okay.
Yeah, I'll follow.
Follow.
Oh, okay.
All right, so
Wanna
you
go in
guys
and jump?
go into this large temple, and you see as you walk into this temple, you see many wizardly looking people, some scholarly robe looking people, and some very odd eyeball related, like some paintings up with many eyes in them, some with like crystal balls that have but like the eyes are everywhere in this building, and you can kind of sense that there's like fortune tellers, diviners, and just the whole monstrous eye and crystal ball theme is very prevalent in this building. And
Do I know what god they worship here?
yeah, give me a religion check real quick.
Mind if I do one too?
Yeah, sure, go ahead. So, yeah, with that check, I mean, you were told this was the Temple of Savras from Wakanga. And so, yeah, Savras is a deity of wizards, fortune tellers, diviners, and those who unfailingly speak the truth regardless of whether listeners want to hear it. His symbol is a monstrous eye or crystal balls filled with eyes, and Savras Temple is one of the oldest, grandest kind of things that is in island religions. And it's a deity who's devoted to revealing the truth, and it's kind of unusual to see in a city of merchants. But
Wrong building.
well, I mean, the fact that Savras is worshipped in Chult means that it might be a very old religion in this area, like before it became a merchant city. And the old man says, yes, please come in further. We must come to my office, and he leads the way to his office, and as he says, please shut the door behind you, and he shuts behind you. He says, oh, thank you for saving me from that predicament. I don't really know what those people were talking about, but seemed like they were not the best of people.
Yes, it looked
Or-
like they might have meant you harm. Sounds like you've gotten yourself into some trouble here.
Well, I don't know about. I hope not harm, but yes, they were just asking for stuff and wanting to pay an exorbitant amount for information that I do not have.
Are you
What were they about?
Well, they were asking about artist Simber, a person I don't know anything about, but they were wanting to pay, this large ruby for him. And I don't. That's anybody who has that much money to pay for a person isn't usually looking for good things.
well?
I sense their evil intentions, and that's
So
why
they
I
didn't
didn't want to answer.
specify why. They just really ruffled your feathers.
That is a good way of putting it.
We think you might be able to pay us for our trouble.
Yes. Are you interested in maybe hiring us to help you out with your situation? We can.
I mean, he kind of takes you all in to look, and he says, I'm not really in for sell swords. I'm a man of faith, and very simple. I stay here and don't need much protection in the city. I don't think I was in much danger. It's a situation I didn't want to be in, and I appreciate your help. And
So you never know when somebody might, come back and cut your throat in your sleep.
Well,
roll
I
intimidation.
Way to put that
Yeah,
there,
wow,
buddy.
there you go.
Roll for an
That
intimidation
happened.
check on that there.
Wow.
Shite.
Shit.
How did I lose my phone in my own house?
Try and call it.
It's on silent. It's always on silent.
There you
I
go.
bet that fucker's in my car.
And he says, "Oh, I thought I was away from the bad people. Look, I don't mean you any trouble. If
No.
No, I was
Just
talking
about
about
not-
them.
Happen to be an idiot.
Do not mind
Right.
him. He is just.
Quiet idiot.
Please.
So
so I know it was just a ruse. When...
Myself in this fucking
Sorry.
Christ.
can I give you like a history check about Artist Simber here?
yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Because like as a person.
So nat 20.
Oh.
It's not in here either.
Yes.
What the flying fuck?
Oh, good. That worked out because I'm like, hang on. Here we go.
So Perrin, do you have any connections to the Harpers at all?
I don't, not directly, no, but I mean, I think elves are fairly Harper friendly.
So I'll say this: you have heard that the Harpers know of Artist Simber, and that he has a powerful ring that has kept him alive for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
But outside of that, you don't know his motivations, who he is, or anything like that.
Okay.
And
But I'm aware that like he's been missing for a very long time and allegedly has this artifact.
Right. And metagaming-wise, you should definitely remember him from the previous campaign we played.
I do, yeah, which is why I was like, what does this character know about him? Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
So not a lot. I mean, even though you rolled super high, I mean, you shouldn't know a ton
Yeah.
about him. And
Right. That was another life. Anyway. Okay. Interesting that he has a tie in this game as well. Well, yeah, please disregard our drunk companion and his idle threats. That is not why we came here. We are adventurers about to start out on a journey, and Our
I'm gonna go
exploring
ahead and
report
attempt a
before we leave.
charisma roll to kind of really just soothe him and assure him that we are best of intentions. After all,
So,
I'm a purveyor
I
of
just look sideways at everybody.
so I'll
unique
say
objects.
this.
Why not information?
So for this, um, I'll adjust the difficulty of you soothing him based on what you're telling him about why you're here, what's going on. So if you can give me a quick rundown of what you're saying to him, that'll depend on how um, successful you are based on your roll, like the difficulty of how high you need to roll for that.
I apologize greatly for our dear companion. What we are trying to find out, what we are really looking for, you're a holy man. You are clearly a man of good intent, and we do not want any harm to come to you. Of interesting and unique objects, I imagine I can easily add information to that to help soothe the situation you are in. We will gladly do what we can.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I'm not used to dealing with people, so I wasn't trying to intimidate you. I was just talking about the other blokes there.
So go ahead and you roll for persuasion, and you'll get the higher of the two rolls because Shite O'Heal is trying to help you with their charisma roll. So you rolled a 17. No, you don't get to roll two. You're helping her.
Oh no, yeah, sorry, yeah.
So 17 with a 17. So this old man says, "Yes, I understand what it's like to have to work with people who have the best of intentions but might not show as much. Um, what exactly are you here for in Cholt, that is?"
We're searching for information that will lead us into the jungles to find an artifact called the Soulmonger that will hopefully help lift this curse that is affecting so many.
And he looks shocked, and he says, "The death curse in Cholt? I can't believe that's the case." And he literally looks shocked to you. It's very obvious that this idea that the death curse is originating in Cholt is new to him. And what do you do in response?
Well, do you have a reason to believe it wouldn't originate here?
Do you have reason to believe it would be?
Well, this is where our patron has gathered information, and the sources say start here.
Roll for persuasion.
Mm. Da, da, da.
Our patron is a
Strong
dear
suit.
friend
Yeah.
who has assured us reputable.
Okay, so with that, I will allow for the higher roll. You're helping Perrin Nypries, so it'll be a 16 instead of a 4.
Thank
With-
God.
With that, he says, "Well, where are my manners? I am Grandfather Zitimbe." And he holds his hands together almost as if praying and points them to you. And he says, "I don't believe that this could be true about Cholt. We are a very dangerous place, but a very straightforward place. There is some mystery involved, but it is usually involved in our history and can be seen as a straight line as opposed to a curve. And although I don't believe that Cholt has anything to do with the death curse, I believe that you think that that is the case. And if you were to make a donation to the church, I would consult the guides overnight. I would pray. I would see if I can see if there's any truth to this, and maybe I could help point you in the right direction.
I don't mean
Well,
to
at the very
imply
least, I know it.
necessarily there is somebody within Chult who is guilty of such a horrible act. Is there perhaps someone who has arrived, an outsider aside from us, of course, who has arrived within the last few months, a little off, a little suspicious, perhaps a little ill-intentioned?
Cholt is a very busy city where people come and go, merchants every single day. Many, if not hundreds, of people within a week, if not thousands within the month. It would be very hard to decide if one particular person is guilty of anything, let alone a curse that affects all of Cholt, if not further beyond. In my particular dealings, I have not seen such a person.
What kind of donation would be most helpful?
Oh, usually it is something in the range of 25 gold pieces.
Well, I realized that it was merely part of a ruse, but I was hoping you would at least read me the fortune that you said you owed me.
I guess this is true. You make a good point. But normal donations are 25 gold pieces for such. I mean, it will take me all night and all morning, but I guess for you I could, since you saved me from before, I could cut it down to 17 gold pieces.
I will pay that.
Wait a fucking minute.
Oh.
Nah, we've had enough of you.
Ah. But he said he owed him.
Alright, I got 5 on it.
Oh, Jesus. First time in a big city there, lass.
I have no lass.
All right. I'll pay the 17. You guys keep your money.
I told you I got 5 on it. I already did it, so it's done.
He's a man of the
Terrible at
gods. Okay, so
haggling.
I'll put the
Terrible
12.
at haggling.
I'll put 12 on it then.
There you go. Alright,
All
and that is done, and we will be back in the morning, and I am ready to be outside again, so I'm going to leave.
So he takes the gold and is immediately like, okay, yes, and he's grabbing like bones from his desk and he's grabbing feathers and is just like, obviously he really is intent on providing you this service, and
He's gonna do it.
Yeah.
Just
Alright.
forgetting that
Alright.
that we were going to help him with his other issue and that we could have haggled it lower because we were trying to help him with that.
Well, he didn't want help with it.
Yeah.
We asked if he wanted to hire us for anything, and he basically was like, "No, I'm good." Right?
Yeah, it's about what you guys.
My sweet talking, trying to cover for Shitehead over here.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
I
we did
resemble
get
that
an
idea.
8 gold
I
discount.
resemble that.
That's a 25% off for helping him out of the streets, and I'm satisfied with that.
Well,
Shortest
So
haggling
we'll
experience
return in the
ever.
morning after he prays to his bones and seeks the wisdom of the all-seeing eye.
I would like to ask one more question, if you don't mind.
Oh, yes?
Of you, grandfather. Surely you know who those men were. And
No.
what merchant prince they were working for?
Roll a persuasion check. And he says, No, I don't know if they were working for a merchant prince, but they seem to be Zentarim, if I'm not correct.
Huh.
Oh man.
Is there a local Zentarum hangout or a place where the Zentarum usually gather in the city?
And he kind of looks not sure, but he says, in the lower, the warehouse district near the docks is anywhere I would suspect any evil doing happens at night. But I'm not sure. I'm not part of the
drug
Zentarim,
dealers
so
hang out.
all I know is there's no residential areas around there, and there's no business being done at night. So if I were to do any evil doing, which I of course don't, that would be where.
Appreciate the information.
And
You
he's
gonna go
scooping
Zentrum
up stuff.
hunting?
For information, grandfather, we will so that you can give it all of your focus and all of your time.
Yep. See you in the morning. Get some
It's
sleep.
And
everything
he
you
just
are
waves as he's, collecting more ink and more stuff for his purposes.
doing. That sounds terrible.
All right. So you
Okay.
guys
That was
exit,
fun.
and as Sindra Sylvain pointed out, the Red Bazaar is towards this way. So I guess you guys are making your way across this bridge. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Seems direct to me.
I just want to point out that as a barbarian with like a +5 to intimidation, I never once made a fucking intimidation check.
What are you...
That whole
What?
last campaign.
That's not true.
Oh my god, no. You did all the time.
No,
Yeah.
I
What are you
did
talking
not.
about?
You just
I
got
never
so
made one
fucked
as-
up that you didn't remember it. That's a totally
Yeah,
different
right?
story.
Oh my god.
No.
Too much cough syrup for you, yo. You did it all the time. Playing pinkies and stuff. Yeah. Oh my god.
No, but Mm.
So
no, I constantly lost my pinky. What are you talking about?
No
Alright.
pinkies.
yeah, and it crawled back to you, you fucking weirdo.
So weird.
So as you guys are heading your way downtown, you are seeing to your north, or sorry, to your west is a palace-looking building, and it looks like it's very old, but it's been upkept very well. It's very opulent. It's one of the most opulent structures you've seen in the city so far. You see a lot of gold around everywhere. But
How about I just ask one of the locals who lives there? Just like someone on the street.
oh, okay. Give me
Like, hey, who lives?
an inspection real quick.
Inspection.
Or sorry, maybe not inspection. Investigation. Yeah, sorry, investigation.
Inspector Hawkins.
Inspector Gadget. Roll.
Oh, shit, I'm
So you grab someone, and they
He's
look you
giving
dead
me
in the
a time.
eye, and they say, and they look kind of pissed off at you, and then they shrug your arms off of their shoulders, and they continue on.
That
Damn
went well.
peasants. All right, let's
Why
get
are
off
you
this
talking
dirty
to
street.
people? Talk to people. You and
Don't you
Shay.
know you don't
No.
make eye contact with these folks, man.
I'm not talking to the locals ever again.
Ever again.
So as you cross this bridge towards the other side, in front of you see another opulent-looking villa, and then you see down here this very large tent structure that looks built and very sturdy, but it looks to be almost like the beating heart of the city. There's so many people coming and going through these different entrances and exits through this tent area. You see just it's very much the hub of the city, and people are walking out with food, and people are walking out with bags of stuff and going in, and so you make it down this way. Uh, there's some staircases down here, and you find yourself in front of um, uh, this market here.
Okay. Cool.
And
Well,
what do you guys do?
We're looking for guides, right? Is that what?
yeah, I think that. Oh, I think we were told like a tavern or whatnot would be a good place for a guide. Which, I mean, we could kind of look around, see if there's a tavern in this area that would be kind of likely. I don't know. I do want to hit the bazaar, but I'm also a little worried about how much a guide is gonna be, so I don't know if we want to spend more yet. Want maybe we investigate for tavern.
Yeah, roll an investigation check real quick for me.
Okay. God, I'm killing those. Somebody else
Wow.
do it.
It's a good one.
What happened to
Yeah.
the bazaar?
So
Bazaar.
as you grab someone and say, hey, where's the Red Bazaar and the taverns that I've heard about? The Thundering Lizard and the Kaya's House of Repose. The person actually looks at you kind of angrily and it was like, are you for real? This, and they point to this tent-like building. They say, this is the Grand Souk. You want the Red Bazaar. The Red Bazaar is, and they point down this direction. They say, whoever told you this was the Red Bazaar is pulling your chain. And then they continue to walk on. Just like fucking tourists kind of attitude towards you.
Pretty sure this city is full of just liars and thieves.
Yeah,
I
like
don't like the locals.
I mean, I don't know if that's true.
Roll an insight check for me.
Yeah, I don't know. Humans. Ugh.
Oh, dang. So with that
Kill
insight
it.
check,
Nice.
you can sense that Sindra Sylvain meant very well, but might not have told you the exact right thing about where to go. And that person was probably telling you the truth, that you want to go to the Red Bazaar, which is down here, as opposed to here. And this is the Red Souk, and that person was very much telling you the truth and not trying to mislead you. But you can tell Sindra meant well, but might have just given you a little bit of the incorrect information. And
Okay. Well, what
She
is
is
a
dying and in a lot of
souk?
pain.
What is a souk? I don't know that.
Don't look at me.
Yeah.
and with that insight
gonna
check,
fall in.
Obviously,
I
know
could
where
tell
to
you
go.
that
For
the
shopping.
Grand Souk, which that guy mentioned, is obviously a place of massive sales. Like much of the merchants who work for the princes are probably working out of this, and that the
Okay.
Red Bazaar might be a smaller portion of that, but is not the same thing. And the grand central hub of the city is definitely this Grand Souk, but the Red Bazaar might be a different connected part of that.
Okay. Well, I mean,
Well,
how do we want to go about getting a guide?
Well, if the princes are working out of this place,
Yeah,
shouldn't we check it
that's.
out?
We can find the people who work for the guide guy here, maybe, or the
And I'll say with that insight check, you can tell if you do want to go to the inns, they would be in the lower area down here, and you could find guides there. But if you want to go purchasing for stuff, their better chances is here.
Okay. I don't know. I do think we'll need to buy things, but I also wonder if we might need to combine some of our money forces for a guide in the first place. So
Should we get some work first? To make a little bit of money, get a little bit of an introduction, rather than just traipsing off all willy nilly in the jungle.
I did not come to Chult to work, but you're welcome to do as you please. I'm here
Well, I
to
think
explore.
I think his idea is save up some money so we can fund our
Yeah.
expedition, because we're all freaking broke right now, and it's not going to be cheap to
You could always go
run
rob and
around
kill
in
people.
the.
That
Yeah,
might be a problem.
but how
Well,
long are we going to be in this jungle? It could be several weeks. So we need
okay.
to get some supplies, a guide.
Well, I think
Okay.
we should find out how much a guide is before we go saving up for one.
Agreed.
Cool. Tavern?
Oh, I miss your attitude.
So
Yeah, sorry.
All right.
Don't apologize. I'm not joking at all.
I mean, you can put your horse in your cart wherever you feel like, but I'm gonna go to the tavern.
Okay, I meant that in a good way.
I know.
So as you guys are talking, you're actually tapped on the shoulder, specifically. What's your name? Character's name, Andy? Perrin.
Perrin. Yeah.
Perrin, you're tapped on the shoulder,
Oh fuck, what's your name?
and behind you are two tabaxis.
Oh.
And they look similar. You see a female tabaxi who's wearing leather armor and an eye patch, and another one who is kind of standing behind the first one with the eye patch. And the first one says, "Oh, I hear you are looking for a guide." And the one behind says, "A guide."
Fuck no, run!
Yes, I'm
Well, there you go, Perrin.
I'm not sure.
Let
you-
me
you
introduce myself.
heard-
I
Yes,
am
that's-
River, and this is Flask.
What is a Tabaski? Because I am.
It's a cat person. Yes,
Yeah, it's cat
I'm sorry, friends. I'm not sure you did hear me correctly.
Are you not looking for guides? A guide?
Well, first,
Yeah.
first tell me who's the merchant prince that you work for?
Oh, we do not work for merchant princes. We are on the lowdown. On the lowdown.
I like him. I like him a lot.
Sure,
Let's
them
go.
for comic relief.
How much do you cost?
Let us go to a
Dude,
tavern,
stand
up.
and then we can talk about more business. Yes,
Oh, we drink?
business.
Drink.
Ah,
I'm going.
Business drink.
I don't believe I'm interested in this arrangement, but thank you.
Oh, come on. We never had
I'm
any
deciding
fun.
if I
Listen, you must beware of Jubal and his no-good flunkies. They're flunkies. That merchant prince,
like him.
he's as trustworthy as a sack of snakes. A sack of snakes. As are most of his guides. If you choose us as your guide, we will never lead you astray. Never astray. River and Flask are up to the task. Up to the task. That's our motto. Cholt is our
They have a
playground.
fucking
We're
motto.
fast,
Hear them.
reliable, and we know what we're doing. What we're doing. 5 gold
Can I-
pieces
They
per
wouldn't
day and a
try.
30-day advance is what Jobel's flunkies demand. We're happy to serve as guides for only 4 gold pieces, and it holds up like 4 tabaxi fingers is all they have on their hand.
Oh.
We're happy to serve as
Roll.
guides for only 4 gold pieces a day with no payment up front. Nothing up front. Even
What do I
better,
need to roll to
we'll
use my
waive the
bullshit
fee.
filter here?
It's like it came out of the sky to fix our problems. I say we
I-
go with these two guys.
It's
They are
it's
very
amazing
nice.
how convenient this is, isn't it? I'm gonna give you an insight here because
Yeah.
I'm a
Almost-
bad
Let me
Zero.
finish real
Like
quick.
the god just-
Oh no.
Even better, we'll waive the fee entirely for equal shares of whatever treasures we help find. Whatever treasures we help find.
Can you answer me one question? What will happen if the merchant prince finds out we're on?
He'll have our heads. Our heads.
See, I like you guys because you stare the face of danger and you just don't even care. I say we go with this.
Well,
I'm definitely rolling insight on these guys.
Okay, go ahead. They seem
Terrible.
on the
That
up
was
and up to Perrin
Yeah.
and Orden.
Yep.
I
Something
can
else,
see what
please
you're
roll.
talking about. If we, instead of paying you to be our guide, simply share whatever treasures we find, then you're not even a guide. We're not breaking any rules. You're just part of our adventuring party.
Exactly. Exactly.
Get stabbed in the night.
Do you guys have 5 gold and a 30-day advance?
No, 5 gold per day and 30-day advance is what Jobel's flunkies demand. What they demand.
Right, that's my point, boys.
that's 150,
Stay with me for a second, okay?
right?
They don't have any upfront cost. Not only that, I wanna
Nothing.
pull you guys. I want to pull you guys aside. Hold on a sec, boys. Just wait over there, very quietly. These guys are on the down low, and we can just fucking turn them in after they help us out if we have to. And shit, we don't even have to fucking pay. My God.
Roll a stealth for that.
David, can I roll an insight to see if I trust Shite?
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Because I'm kind of more tempted to trust River Mist and Flask of Wine than Shite.
So for insight, Jason, your character sees that they're obviously trying to get around the rules, and they don't want to pay for Jobel's fees. So they're obviously not doing stuff how they should in the city of Port Naranzayu.
And all I'm saying is, yeah, they might be a risk, but we have leverage on them. Fuck.
I mean, they seem okay. The con
I
man
like
in
'em.
me is still screaming that there's something wrong, but they seem
Do you hear how the other one,
Plus,
the
they're
peach is
funny.
friend? Yeah.
they're hilarious. We need some comic reliefs. Jungles are going to be so depressing.
Gotta get these guys drunk.
I like that they rhyme.
So, yeah, so let's just do it. Fuck it.
We are going to get very poor very fast.
Well, I mean, here's the thing: if they get caught by Jobel's flunkies or whatever, they're gonna lose their heads. But
They might lose their heads
probably
guiding us.
we will too.
Yeah. I mean,
You know, human or cat shields.
I mean, I'm sure they're just as good as I mean, they
Then-
act like they know what they're doing.
Would you like to
I say we
inquire
do it.
their
I mean, can we get any?
before
Can
we
we get any?
agree?
Well, I mean,
Maybe we could get
counterpoint,
some
so does
references.
Shite, but I don't trust him at all.
What? Yeah.
Maybe we should ask what their particular combat skills are.
Well, there you
Yeah,
go.
yeah.
Just killed while they're guiding us?
Let's try. Let's ask them for some references, or like give us some proof that they know what they're doing.
What kind of references you got, boys?
So, during this whole time you guys have been talking to each other, you can tell that they've been whispering among themselves, and as you ask them this, River says, "Oh, trust us. We can hold our own." Hold our own.
Persuasion for a lower price?
Persuasion for what?
Please.
Sorry,
Lower
you
price.
cut out. A level price?
Lower price.
Price, lower cost.
Oh,
You have to bring it down, boys.
well, you can simply pay nothing if you share whatever treasures we help you find. Yes, treasures we help you find.
And what
Yeah, but
It's not
specific
gonna
cut
be
are
like
you looking for?
Pricey.
It's
What
not
percentage
going
are
to
you
be
looking for?
50-50. There are going to be 7 of us. We will split it 7 ways.
Yes, 5 of you and 2 of us. As long as we split it that way, it should be fair. Should be fair.
I trust
They count
you
as one?
because I feel like you and I can have the understanding that if either of us betrays the other, we'll kill each other.
Killing should not be necessary.
I
Killing.
agree.
I really think they should count as one. I mean, the other one isn't even like nationalist.
They can hear you, you know. Just.
Yeah.
And I kind of
got your
don't
back,
care.
Cass.
Well,
Who's got the gold?
I-
Give me 4
I
fucking
say
gold.
I say
Christ.
we think it over. And
Yes, how about
Well,
that?
where are we gonna stay?
How
Where are
about
we
you
gonna
think
stay?
it
Let's find
over,
a-
and we'll meet you where you sleep. Where you sleep.
Exactly.
Okay.
See, these guys know.
Let's
Mhm.
shop around a little, yeah? See
Where are we-
what our
where are we
impressions
sleeping?
of the others are.
Where are we sleeping?
yes,
yeah,
we're going to be
definitely
at the
tell him.
Thundering Lizard.
Thundering Lizard. Yes.
Meet us at the Thundering Lizard tonight.
That's the rowdy place, right?
T-Rex
Okay.
is about to break through.
You know what? If you're gonna head to the soulmonger to help me destroy it, then I will go with you. So, like, regardless of what happens with them shopping for a guardian, let's go do this.
Soulmonger, I don't know what you guys are talking about, but if you guys need a guide, wherever you know, I could probably get you there, and specifically if you need to go to Firefinger or Drunglung, I could get you there. Also, I've
You
heard
don't know.
stories of an old woman in Mbala who can animate the dead in such a way that the zombies retain their abilities and memories they had in life, but we're good guides. We can help you where you need to go. Where you need to go.
Where I need to go is to the soulmonger. Do you know where that is? Because that would rapidly become your job duty if we worked together.
As I mentioned, I don't know explicitly where that is, but I'm sure we can help you find it. Help you find it.
Good.
What-
Let's get to
what-
work immediately. I'm not gonna wait.
That's
But it sounds like
Yep.
you guys need some thinking to do. But we'll meet you in the morning and we'll go from there. Yes, go from there.
All right. Looking forward to it. Good to meet you, River Flask.
Oh, of course. Good to meet you too. And where again did you say you were going to be staying?
The Rowdy
Oh.
Bar.
Thundering Lizard.
Thundering Lizard.
Yes.
Okay, we will come to the Thundering Lizard tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning.
Good deal.
We are gonna die
Great.
in our sleep.
Let's wander away from that.
Yeah.
That sounds good. Question: should we be telling everyone we meet that we're looking for this artifact, or maybe not so much?
Hey, here's my secret mission. Please come kill me and stop me.
I mean, it's just an idea that maybe not everyone would be good to tell that.
I don't think they're necromancers.
I suppose I didn't realize it was a secret.
I'm not sure if it's a secret. I'm just sure that if we're looking for something and someone doesn't want us to find it, and we don't know who that person might be, that could be hindering on a quest.
Maybe we could be more
Sure, well,
circumspect.
they might kill us in our
I-
sleep. I'm fairly certain they'd be too dumb to be that much of a master planner.
Well, I don't exactly know the layout of this island, and if we're going to find a guide and get that guide to take us to this artifact, how do you propose we ask them where to go?
So where are the zombies at?
I'm saying let's pick a guide and then be specific, but these are street people. I don't know. Just a thought.
I think we just need to talk to more people in the city. See what they know.
I'll keep my eye out for
I
like.
mean, we've only talked to one merchant prince.
So it seems like the guide thing would be 150 gold pieces, which combined we can do. Or we can go with
Well, plus 5 a day, so
killer. No, it was 5 a day for 30
Plus-
days, paid up
plus-
front, right?
yeah, plus 5 per day. So 150 in advance and then 5 per day.
But I don't.
Well,
Is that accurate? I don't think so.
so these two that have approached you mentioned that
That's what it would cost.
yeah, they mentioned that oh, where is this at?
Where is this?
That
place?
finding a guide would be for paying someone that is employed by Jobel would be 5 gold pieces per day and 30 days up front is standard. From what
So
you
that's 150 for a month. It's not both.
Oh, it's like an apartment. You pay first and last month's rent, and then you keep
Yeah.
paying.
Yeah.
But do we keep paying
Like
when
a
we come
month
back
up
from
front?
town and we sleep in town? Pay for somebody.
No, I
Well,
mean if
that's-
you hire them for your trip, you're gonna pay them on the first day of your trip.
Right.
I guess I'm not understanding. Is it going to be 150 for a month that we pay up front, or is it 150 and then we also add the daily?
You'll pay 150 up front, and then past 30 days you'll pay them on a per day basis.
There you go. Okay, so 150 to start us out, which we do have.
Hmm?
Unless you guys want to go with the stabbing kitties. I mean, that is an option.
I feel
I
like they
thought
could
they were
murder us in our
fun.
sleep.
Huh?
I thought they were entertaining.
I think it's going to be fun one way or another. I mean, they might try to kill us and we kill them. They might rob us blind and then we find kill.
So as you guys make your way towards, you're kind of talking this over as you guys make your way towards. You see towards the north, you do see this large building on a hill, which seems to be almost like a gladiator coliseum type thing, and there's some hustle and bustle going on up there, but you're making your way down towards where the individual told you the Red Bazaar was at, down here.
Uh-huh.
So as you approach, you do see lots of merchants down here in each of these individual tents. And one thing that you do see is a lot of merchants are selling dinosaur meat. And there's some blood stains on the floor of this merchant area, which you do kind of can pick off that the name Red Bazaar might have come from the fact that a lot of dinosaur meat is chopped up and sold here. And it seems to be a part where
Right.
some of the, not necessarily upper class, but lower class might be getting some of their meat for lunch or dinner. And a lot of it is freshly cut, not necessarily cooked, and might be where people get some of their meat for stews and things like that. But there are some various different merchants here, not just meaderies, but that does seem to be the primary place. But there are some inns around that you have heard of. You do see the Thundering Lizard over here, and you do see the House of Repose down here.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
So what are you guys doing?
I really need a drink after those damn stabby cats.
Well, here's where you make a decision. If you really don't trust them, stay at the other inn.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Hide in a corner all night with
that was
some
my plan.
Yeah, that's what I was
to be in
thinking.
my room. I could easily find some entertainment for the night and not be in my room.
I'm going to the rowdy bar.
Okay,
I'm
so
gonna follow Michael.
on your way, you do see like the locally produced meats shops, some vegetable shops, some tropical fruit shops, and then there's one shop that this guy is holding 2 mugs of something, and he calls out, "Tej here, get your Tej here, Tej here, Tej here, Tej here, Tej here," and he's like pointing the mugs at you guys as you walk past.
What's Tash?
I think you should buy some.
Why,
Let's get some-
Tej is the amber color fermented drink made from honey. It's more common in Chult than anything else. So come get your Tej. 4 copper pieces for a mug. 4 copper pieces for a mug. Tej here.
I just pay the man.
I grab both.
What's
and
that?
I'll just give a silver piece.
Ah, for 1 more silver piece, you can get a gallon cask. Gallon cask.
Do it.
Okay. 2 silver pieces.
All right, here you go, and he thump, right on the table of his little market stand, and he says, "Here you go, the spout's right here. Just take it, flip it open, pour it in your mouth. Tej, it's just for you."
Okay, so how is it?
It's very nice. Like, it's similar to what we would call mead. It's not an ale, and as he explains to you, he says, "As I mentioned, it's an amber-colored drink fermented from honey, and it is the most popular drink in Chult." And there's some like
Okay.
floral notes to it, but it's very sweet. But it does the job. And how much are you drinking of it? I mean, you have a fucking gallon cask of it. How much are you drinking of this stuff?
Yeah, I figured that was a pretty good deal to set me right for the night.
Oh my god.
How much are you drinking of it?
Sounds like he's gonna.
I'll probably just sip on it till it's not a good idea anymore.
Okay, we'll say you have like let's be honest. Are you getting drunk off of this or not?
Not like wasted, but like, little buzz.
All right, roll me a Constitution check real quick.
Nice.
Okay. Is this a saving throw? Or
Just a straight up Constitution check. All right, so you're on the cusp of being drunk, and you stop right before you get drunk.
That golden zone.
But another sip, and you will be drunk.
Alright, I'm gonna give the rest of this to my good friend O'Heal.
Oh, heal.
Yeah.
And no heal. How much?
I'm gonna go for it.
Get shite faced.
All right,
Yeah.
give me Constitution.
Yep. Self-faced.
Oh no.
Oh, well, this is fitting.
You are poisoned for the next, I think 6 hours.
Poisoned?
So you have
Alright.
disadvantage on all ability checks and saving throws.
Oh
I'm
dear.
just gonna like attach myself to Ruse, like vomiting, getting sick, and just like, you can't leave me.
Can I like use acrobatics or something or athletics to dodge out of the way and not be a part of that?
Yeah, we'll do a you do athletics, Jason, and you do athletics, Ruse, and we'll see who's the highest. Oh no. You get vomited on
Oh
for
no!
sure.
Oh no! No!
You try to move out of the way, but you get splashed.
Oh,
Your boots at least.
you incompetent fool!
You gave it to me, mate.
All right, so which inn are you guys going to?
So I
Well,
just
I
want to say,
think-
Harkin is going to stay at least 20 feet away from both you guys for the next 6 hours. I'm absolutely disgusted by you guys. So we'll go to the rowdy bar. Let's do that. Let's walk in there.
No, that's where we are.
That's
We
where
went to the rowdy bar.
All right, so let's look around at some.
So as you guys reach the
Guide
Thundering
looking
Lizard, there is a mini full table. There are a couple tables that seem a little bit quieter, a little bit more reserved, and as you enter, it's almost like Shaito Heel knocks the door open, like just announces his entrance. And Ruse like enters in, and she's got some vomit on her boots and stuff, and she's wiped most of it off, but is not smelling too great. And you guys enter in, and it's quite loud, and there's some music going on, and it seems like quite a lively tavern. It's about 5 p.m. after all the stuff you guys have done, so there's quite a bit of action going on. People are eating and drinking and having a good time. And what do you guys do as soon as you enter in this tavern?
I'm probably gonna try to grab O'Heal's water skin and wash myself off a little bit.
Just slap his hand away.
In the tavern.
I punch him.
All right, so do
It's alright, my kid was going to bed and I am totally lost. People are drunk and what tavern is going on and what is...
You missed some stuff, yeah.
Yeah, there's been puke.
I was like listening, but I kind of missed the details. Somebody's drunk and somebody's almost drunk and Perrin has been vomited on and...
Nope, not me.
no,
Shida's
somebody
waist
has been vomited on.
is covered in vomit.
Say.
And we're at the Thundering Lizard.
And washing it off indoors now is that's
the
happening.
thing to do. You walk
Yeah.
into a place
Okay,
and wash
so-
your coffee.
Yeah.
So the
Rosie-
bartender,
Not 100% sure I followed
And-
you guys here.
the bartender makes eye contact with you guys, and he says, "Hey, no outside drinks. What are you doing?"
So are we all at the Thundering
Well,
Lizard then? Is that what's going on?
this is set it down by the door. Give it a couple pats. And almost fall forward and continue in.
I'm gonna grab the rest of it and throw it outside. Spill it into the street. While Shag's not looking.
All right, roll a sleight of hand check for me real quick.
Alright.
Should I do perception?
Yeah.
At disadvantage?
Uh-oh.
Oh, you see him pick it
Oh,
up and get
shit.
ready to throw it.
Oh, don't you fucking move that!
Oh.
Nice. Hey,
Sir, I think you've had enough.
And you hear-
fucking love you.
You hear
You
the
just-
bartender say, "Did you bring enough for the class?"
Yeah, you can have it if you like.
Possibly, it's strong.
Well, you brought some Tej for the whole class, haha! And then everyone, you kind of hear them cheer out, ah! And he motions for you to bring him the gallon of Tej.
I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna take it away from Harkin. Do I have to do a strength contest to do that, or can I just take it?
Or are
I'm
you
not gonna let
blocking?
you have it.
All right, yeah. Then yeah, both of you guys give strength checks.
Oh my goodness. We're doing some things.
That seems like it's gonna win. What about you, Harkin?
How do I do it?
Just strength.
Strength.
Click it.
You click
Saving throw
above
or
where
the-
it says like
Yeah,
No.
just where your numbers are.
it's not a saving throw, just where the stat is.
Okay.
Yeah, you take it
Oh my
and you give it
God.
to the bartender.
So, in my
very
mind, this Ruse doesn't even look like she's taking it from him so much as she just grabs it off of like a table or something, and it happened to have been held by Harkin at the time, and just like carries it over to the bar. Whether Harkin's attached or not is kind of irrelevant, and like hands it to the bartender.
I'm
So-
gonna remember this.
The bartender takes it and he says, "Ah, thank you. You bought it for the class." And he pours, actually, like just immediately, like flips the top of the keg off, like the whole screw-in pour part off, to the point where Tej is just like pouring out of it. And this bartender is so adept at bartending. He has slid 5 glasses underneath the bar, and he is like sliding them as it pours out of this keg, and he fills up 5 glasses, and it's like every single last drop gets into these glasses. It's full up to the brim. Not a drop is spilled as he's filled up all 5 of these glasses. And he says, "Looks like someone's finally bought you beers, my friends." And he slides them to the end of the bar to these 5 looking short, very small humans. They're not dwarfs. They're not hobbits. They're humans, but they're very small, very thin, very wispy looking fellows, but they're very sober looking people. And he slides them these full, very large pint glasses of Tej, and he sends them to their way. And he says, "Someone finally bought you these drinks," and he points to these adventurers that are new to this bar. And he says, "By the way, what can I get you guys? Thank you for giving our fellow racers some beers." And they start picking up and drinking. And what can I get for you? What do you need in my inn?
Interesting.
What do you have to clear the throat and fight the humidity?
Well, fighting the humidity is a losing battle, but to clear the throat, I have some dragon's blood. And he shines a bottle at you, and it's a silvery red bottle that he shines at you. He says, but that might be a little too rich for your asking. I mean, you are giving away ale already, so, I mean, we've got Tej, we've got hard liquor. What are you really looking for?
Dealer's choice. And I'll just slap 4 silver on the bar and see what happens.
So you're looking for a few dragon shots, huh? And he flips in the air and catches it and pours 3 dragon shots, and he slides them forward, and he said, that's what you get. And he pulls the silver away and puts it, he like flips it in the air, and he catches it in his pocket without using his hand. He just like opens his pants pocket with his thumb, and it just falls gracefully in his pocket. This guy looks like he's Tom Cruise in Cocktail.
I rush the bar, grab one, and take it.
Oh God.
Make a Constitution saving throw at disadvantage.
I will block. I'm gonna try to block. I don't want to give another drink to Chite right now.
All right, both of you make
so-
strength checks.
Oh
Hey.
no!
Be double.
Holy
Oh.
shit!
God. What is happening?
You slap it out of its hand.
Oh my God.
So I'm gonna give it to the bartender
No.
instead. I want to offer.
I go
Okay.
for the other one.
You have a 6, dude. You slap it out of his hand, and it crashes to the floor, and it shatters. The glass shatters, and a few people look at you, and they're like, what the fuck? Like, your strength
for the
check
other
is
one.
not good enough
No,
to
I'm
pull
giving-
it.
I'm giving the last one to the bartender and taking a shot with the bartender.
I
Okay.
go for the other one.
So I guess
No,
while
I
was
have the
missing
third one in my
things
hand.
after these guys, because I figured, what the fuck, stabby kitties, whatever. Watching all of this, just laughing. So I just kind of sneak up behind them, and I'm like, yeah, I'll have one of those dragon shots.
And he says, for your group, as he looks at like the one shot that's like been slapped to the floor, and the one shot he has in his hand, and the one shot that's in Ruse's hand, he says, 1 silver for 1 shot.
I don't know if that's good or, but I go ahead and I hand it over.
And he takes it, and he like slaps the corner of it, like the very small corner of the coin, and it flips up in the air, and he catches it, and he puts it in his pocket, and then he flips a bottle out of his hand, grabs it in midair, and he pours you 1 shot, and it's like a very tip-top shot, and he pulls it back right in time before it spills over, and he puts the bottle back behind the bar, and he kind of flicks it with his hand, and it slides right towards you. And make a dexterity saving throw for me real quick. That's enough to just barely catch it. You spill a little bit, but you catch the majority of the shot, and you're able to take it with yourself, the bartender, and Ruse. And you guys all take the shot. Give me Constitution saving throws real quick.
Rick, how many silver to a gold?
10?
10.
Yeah.
And silver is the triangle one, not the like circle one.
Ah.
How much money do we have?
At least 50 gold pieces.
At 65, so now I'm down to 64 gold and 9 silver.
All right, you both take the shot.
How about the bartender? I want to know his.
Okay.
The bartender got wasted.
Right?
He
This will be a
takes
fun
it
shift.
and he slaps the shot glass upside down on the table, and he stares you guys down like, All right, what's up? What do you guys need?
Oh. I like this bartender. He's fun.
Yeah, I wanna ask you more about these races.
So these races, we got any points to the fellows at the end of the bar who are just now drinking the Tej? These fellow, they're racing tomorrow in the third race, and we've got 2 other races before them. They are pretty much you can bet on who you think is going to win, and depending on how good the dinosaur is, you can get odds on them. And these fellows are going to race in the final race, which is kind of almost a no holds barred. Like you got T-Rexes, Deinonychuses, you got all sorts of dinosaurs in this race, and depending on who wins, you can win a lot of money. You can lose a lot of money. It's fair game, and pretty much the whole city takes part in it. These dinosaurs, they race from the docks pretty much into the heart of the city, and whoever wins wins. And when you go and bet on them, you get a feather, and it's dipped in some certain sort of metal, and that kind of represents the dinosaur that you're betting on. And once the dinosaurs win or lose, you turn your feather in and get the gold, or you pay your debt. And word to the wise, don't skip out on your debts owed, or they'll remember you, whether it's a year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years. They'll find you, and they'll take their money. So don't skip out on the bet.
I believe you there. So the winner of this race.
Hold on, and he
that person
puts
get?
a finger up, and he points like right at your face, and then he says, "What do you need, buddy?" And he like points to one of the racers. He says, "That Tej was kind of good. Can I have another one?" Oh yeah, we got plenty of Tej. You want strawberry Tej, blueberry Tej, cranberry Tej? Do you want some? And he says, "Oh, I'll have the cranberry Tej." He says, "Okay." And he flips some bottles behind him, and he does some pop, 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 and he's like slaps him down. And he throws it over. And he's like, 1 silver, and the guy throws him a silver, and he's like, "Okay." Boom, bam, you're done. Okay, sorry. Go ahead. And he points to you, and he's like, "Come on, come on, go ahead."
That was impressive. Shit, where was I? So the winner of this race, this final race, what do they get? What's the take?
Well, specifically, this person, they win, they get about 200 gold, but the people who bet on them, they get this, that, or the other, depending on how much they bet, how much the odds are. We got favorites, we got losers, we got people who, grandma dinosaurs who've been fucking trying to win for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks. Those people, they're like 1,000,000 to 1. You bet on them and they win, you get tons of money. But there's no fucking way that the grandma's gonna win. So you bet on the dude. 1 to 2, it's like you bet $2, you get $1 on it. I mean, all that shit's configured. You got to go to the bookie to figure out what that's about. So you can bet on the dinosaurs. If you own a dinosaur, you can race the dinosaurs. Pretty much on these races, people who race, I mean, the dinosaurs, they try to act civil. We don't really put up with any attacking of dinosaurs between each other. So you got to have a well-trained dinosaur. Other than that, I mean, it's pretty simple. You bet on the one you think is going to win. They race. If they win, you win money. If they don't, you lose money.
Okay. Very interesting. Where's the bookie?
Oh, there's plenty of bookies. They're all around the city. They come, they go. The main hub of betting is up in the old city. But there's plenty of bookies all around here and there. So if you're looking to bet on a racing tomorrow, I doubt you'll have trouble finding them. But if you really, really, really want to make a big bet, probably best up in the old city. And he like kind of points out up here.
Okay.
So I want to swallow the vomit.
Hold on, and he points a finger up to your face. He says, what do you need? And he points to one of the other guys, and he says, Can I get one of those dragon blood shots? And he says, yeah, fuck it, you won last week. This is on me. And he flip, 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 flip. Bam! He pours a shot, and it's like he's shaking it in the air, and he actually like pours 2 shots, and like one's red and one's blue. How the fuck did he do that out of 1 shot glass? You don't know, but he did it. And then he slides one towards him. He says, here, this is between me and you. And they both take it. Bam! It's done. And he says, okay, sorry. What was that you saying?
So
Yeah, that's what I do too.
I wanted to ask about any rumors around town, strange happenings at night, something like that.
Okay. Give me a second. All right, give me an insight check.
Oh.
So at disadvantage, you get a 15, but you just barely got it. So give me a D100 check. So you're drunk as fuck. You're about to throw up on someone's shoes, and he barely catches you. He says, "Oh, whoa, stranger, stranger, take this flask of water. You need some water. Take some water." And then you take it, and as he's catching you, you say, "Oh man, what's going on around here?" And he says, "Hey, Chult was once a playground for green dragon. The bones mark the location of a hidden treasure trove. If you travel to Mesro and head east across the Laughing Gorge, then south towards Kusabal, you might stumble on the dragon's bones and earn yourself a place in the history books. You know what I mean?"
No, I didn't catch fucking any of that. Oh my god, man.
Okay, so you go east to what again?
I'll put it in the Discord for you real quick.
Yeah.
It's easy to hear, but this is what he says to you.
But
Was Christopher Walken was giving directions, and I wasn't sure what was going on. But I was loving it.
File this under rumors.
Or any of you else looking for rumors?
Sure, I'll ask around.
Okay.
What am I rolling? Insight?
Yeah, give me an insight check. Okay, roll a D100. Do you know how to do that?
No, apparently I don't.
Okay, so on the left side of your screen is like a toolbar.
There we go.
Okay, 75. So you ask this small turtle-looking fellow. He actually has a shell and is very green and is similar humanoid, but looks very much like a turtle. Says, a dragon turtle named Aramek lives in the Bay of Chult. If you wish to set sail from Port Nyanzaru, you'll need a treasure to appease the greedy monster. How much treasure? I can't say. Aramek will tell you what it wants, and you'd best give it what it demands, or else you're fucked.
Wow.
Awesome.
I want to ask.
What
I
was
want to ask people if there's any like area that's been especially affected by zombies.
Okay, give me insight check.
Oh, hey.
Woo!
All right. Give me a second. So you find this person who looks haunted. He has sunken eyes, dark circles around his eyes, and like a broken nose, and what looks to be a chunk out of his shoulder, and some patches around it, but it's bleeding profusely. And he's like clutching his beer, and is almost like his nose is in it. He's just shell shocked, and he looks at you and says, "Huh, zombies? Don't go southeast. Don't go the river Tariki around it here. Oh, Firefinger, Mesrel, Port Castigalar. Oh, don't go there. Fucking zombies everywhere. Don't go there. Don't go there."
We should go there.
No! That's hell no.
The twins
You're
went
paladin.
to
You're afraid of undead?
do. They were pretty eager about it.
What's that?
Was
Are you
it what
there?
river?
River Tariki?
They're,
Tariki. Oh, I see it.
they're,
Oh,
I
that's the
know they
river run.
mentioned Firefinger, and they were pretty like, I don't know about that stonemonger, but I can take you here instead.
Stabby cats.
Stabby cats.
Right. Well,
I like the stabby cats.
So as you guys are in the bar, and as you're like walking around talking to people, you do see like a billboard where people have posted some things. And upon the things you see posted are guides who are advertising their abilities and whatnot. And you do see a few things. The first one of which is Azaka. And Azaka, you'll see before you. This is you kind of see a rough drawing of what they look like, and what they say is here. If you need a guide to get you through the jungle alive, look no further. I was born in the jungle. I know its dangers well, and how best to avoid them. Should you choose me, you may rest assured that your party is in safe hands. I charge 5 gold per day and require a 30-day payment up front. For those adventurers who aid me in a personal quest, I waive my fee and guide them to places no one else has found. The quest will take us to Firefinger. The evil Terra folk that roost atop Firefinger stole a wooden mask from me, and I want it back.
now we're talking. That's a guide.
Mentioned in this place.
Next up, you see
Fairly certain I'm going to die in Firefinger.
Iku. While the lure of pillaging the antiquity of Chult is a temptation, I appeal to those who find fulfillment in doing actual good of the world. I seek to rid the jungle of evil. There are many ruins and ancient temples that must be reclaimed, so that the spirit of the nature can return to the sacred place and live in peace. There are evil impostors who seek to blind you with promise of gold, but will only guide you throats to the blades. My rates are standard, 5 gold pieces a day, with a 30-day payment up front. A small portion goes to pay off the merchant Prince Jobal. The rest I give to charity.
Pass based on voice.
Well, no, we could make him do that voice the rest of the campaign.
No, I'm pretty sure Iku would die pretty quickly.
Who'll pay for one guide when you can have two for the same price? We have the smarts, the goods, and our own Triceratops. Treasure our
Triceratops.
bounds. When we're done leading you all the way to ancient sites and sacred places that we know of, you'll be swimming in golden magic. All the other guides will lead you in circles and make you do all the work. Don't be fooled. When we return to Port Nyanzaru, you will have tales of fortune and enough to last a lifetime. Our price is 5 gold pieces per day with a 30-day payment up front, but we're glad to reduce our rate for equal share of any treasure found.
So my
Seems a
problem.
Triceratops would be impractical in a jungle.
I don't know.
I don't know. You could ride a
It's
Triceratops.
It'd either be like super good and a lot
One of the
of
things here.
way, or just get stuck.
Next you see is, I've led many expeditions through the wilds of Chult. I know secret trails that appear on no map. Hire others at your own peril. Azaka and Iku have led expeditions into the jungle that never returned. Farul and Gondolo are charlatans, plain and simple. Old Hugh suffers from mad monkey fever. I'm sure of it. Musharib is an albino dwarf, and they're not to be trusted. And I hear tell that River Mist and Flask of Wine owe money to the Zentarim. 5 gold pieces per day is a cheap price to pay for your lives. Spend your gold wisely.
She's
Spends
very
way
negative.
too much time knocking others and not own skills.
She doesn't say anything about the upfront cost though. See, these guys, we can pay them 150 gold. They get us killed the first day, and they got 150 gold for 1 day's work. The stabby cats need our gold every day. Just a thought.
Who's old
I think
Hugh?
that
Is
clearly-
that up on the board?
That is not up on this board.
Same with Musharib.
Roll an insight check for me.
Okay.
So you can assume from that it's well, Ruse more than Perrin. That's probably a guide that's up on some boards that are surrounding, but not this board. You've only looked at one board. There's possibly more guides than are at this particular board. This guide is calling out other guides and really kind of attacking what some stand for, and is saying that they're the best. Go for them. Don't go for these other guides. Go for me. So whether that's true or not is yet to be seen, but they're very aggressive and calling out local people that you may or may not have heard of yet.
Well, it's seeing that
Yeah, I'm a
River
hard
and
pass on them.
Flask owe money to the Zentarim is interesting.
Is it true?
I bet it is.
But I mean, this chick is clearly just doing anything to from any interest in their own skills. So
Let's ask the bartender.
What do you ask the bartender?
If you were gonna hire a guide to head out into the jungles, who would you hire?
And he holds up a finger to you as you're asking this question.
hold on.
And he looks at this gnome who's actually standing on the bar. And he says, "What do you need, Philippi?" Philippi says, "Oh, shit, man. I've had a really rough day. I think I need a fucking double dragon blood." Double? Oh, come on. You know what happened last time you had a double. Dude, fuck you. I need a fucking double. It's been the worst fucking day. Alright, whatever you say. And he flips, boop, 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 and he like slams 2 shot glasses full, and he slides them to him, and he says, "You know what the deal is? 4 silver pieces." And he's like, "Fuck it." And he flips him 5, and he catches them both in the air, like swipes them, and you see this little fucking no motherfucker take these 2 shots like they weren't nothing. He goes, fuck this, I'm out, and he fucking leaves already. He says, okay, sorry, what was that? What were you asking me?
Well, if you were gonna hire a guide to head into the jungle, who would you hire?
Who the fuck wants to head in the jungle? Fuck that shit. I mean,
I do. No.
really? Alright, if you want to head in the jungle, who have you talked to already?
Well, we were just checking out your board over there, and we were assaulted by the Tabaxi fellows in the street.
Oh, River and his fucking
And
weird
Flask.
friend? Yeah.
Those are the ones.
I think they're actually siblings. I don't know what's going on with them. They kind of give me creepy vibes, but I mean, fuck. Who else have you talked to or looked at?
Alright, just looking at your board over here, there's quite a few of them. One of them basically just made a trash list of all the others.
Azaka, Iku, Ferul, and Gondolo, and then Salida.
Well, I can tell you, none of those people come into my bars except for the 2 with the Triceratop. Those they're dandies. I don't think they can swing a sword to save their lives, but I'm pretty sure they lost their money once they came to Cholt, and they're just trying to dig themselves out of a hole. So I don't know too much about them. And the others, I couldn't tell you about the others. I don't adventure for shit. I stay in this bar, and I mean, I live upstairs, so it's not like I go anywhere. But I'd say River and Flask, they creep me the fuck out. So there's that, and just don't go with those dandies. I mean, their Triceratops farts everywhere it goes. It fucking lays the worst eggs. I'm pretty sure they bought it for racing, and he looks over to the 5 people drinking, and he says, those dudes, they lost all their money to that Triceratops, right? And they said, yeah, fuck that Triceratops. That shit fucking stinks. And then he's like, yeah, see, I mean, those guys, I mean, they might mean well, but that Triceratops, all it's good for is hauling goods. Like, you could load that shit up, but I ain't winning any races, that's for sure.
That's good information.
It is good information.
Scratch those guys off the list.
Because they weren't already.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Are you guys staying here?
I want to meet up with the Savage Cats. I like them.
Yeah, I was at least gonna ask them about their connections to the Zender Room.
Oh. I'm inclined to go to the other tavern.
I'll go with you. If I'm gonna stay anywhere, it's probably gonna be the other tavern.
Yeah, I don't want cats in the night.
So as you guys kind of pay up your tab and get ready to leave, this young girl with a small dragon-esque looking thing on her shoulder comes up and says, excuse me, I heard that you guys were looking to go exploring in Cholt. Is that true?
Yes.
My name is Zandala. I'm looking for my father. I heard that he came through Cholt, Port Naranzayu, to be specific, and he left with some smelly looking lizard man, and I'm really trying to find him, and I don't know where he went. Can you guys help me?
Maybe. What's his name?
And this is who's in front of you. You see this blonde girl who has elfish ears and some very strange dragon on her shoulder. Um,
Well, yeah, definitely we
Of
can
course.
keep an eye out for your father. What do you know? What business he was involved in, and who he may have spoke to last?
She said stinky lizard man.
yeah, he was seen with a lizard man who smells very funny.
Like perfumey?
Yeah, like I think I've only heard rumor of this, but the person he was with doesn't speak and puts out smells based on what they feel, but that's only rumor. I don't know that for sure.
What's your father's name?
Well, I kind of don't feel good about divulging that information unless you guys are willing to help me and you really show that you mean what you do.
Yeah,
I
we look.
mean, we're going
Well,
out
well,
into the
well-
jungles, so if you want us to keep an eye out for him, I sure. I don't.
I mean,
Yes.
I would be looking to go with you. I want to find my father. It's my goal. It's the only thing I'm doing right now.
How tough are you?
Well, do you know where your father was trying to go?
I don't. That's kind of why I'm here, looking for some people who know enough to help me. And you see the lizard dragon type thing around her neck is coiling up around her shoulders and kind of points its tail towards you in a very protective, almost attacking manner, and it looks like a scorpion's tail.
Well, let me put it like this. We're going on a very dangerous mission, and if you don't mind that, you're welcome to tag along in your search for your father, and we will help you as best we can. But that will certainly be easier if we have anything to go on.
I think I could probably hold my own, and I think that if you could help me find my father, that would be the most helpful thing that anyone's ever done for me.
Yeah, certainly. I'll be able to protect you, and we'll ask around town for this stinky lizard man, and we'll get to the bottom of this. Don't worry.
Thank you.
You can trust.
Thank
Yeah,
you
you can trust
so much. That really means a lot to me. When are you guys setting out?
within
Yeah.
the next couple nights, I would say.
And so since Harkin and Ruse are the two people who've mostly talked, you get flashes of these psychic images, and kind of the images you see are like a very strong guardian protecting a weak, small little girl, and you see like a big shield in front of someone behind them. These like quick psychic images that get flashed into your head super fast.
Okay.
Sounds uncomfortable. Well, if you're certain that you'll be able to survive in the jungle, then I don't.
So Ruse, you just get through that?
Hmm?
Did you just roll that, Ruse? How?
No.
No. Okay.
What?
Perrin just rolled that.
No, I rolled that a while ago.
Weird, it's just popping up now. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah. hmm
So
Well-
Zandala, where can we find you? Are you gonna stay here at the lizard?
I mean, I was going to, but is there another place I should stay to be better protected?
I do not want to stay in this place. I was headed out to the repose.
So as you say this, one of the racers that took the dragon's blood turns to his left and says, "Your fucking dinosaur's not better than mine." And he punches the guy right to the left of him, and you see a fight break out. And
Yep.
like the bartender's like, "Whoa, whoa, 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 whoa," and he's like trying to break it up. And she goes, "Oh my, oh."
Can I just like put my shield in the middle of it and stop it?
I'm out of here.
Oh, here we go.
I am out.
Time to roll initiative, boys.
Yeah, give me a strength check there, Rose.
While he's doing that, I will try to step forward and hey, it's y'all. I think you boys have had too much to drink. Back it off, maybe. Go take a rest. Better in the morning at the race.
So you put your shield up, and it kind of blocks the first person, but the second person kind of swings past it and knocks the other one good in the dome. And they start fighting. And what'd you say? You roll. Let's say roll persuasion, Orden.
That was
I'll-
terrible.
I'll give you the advantage because you made a good argument. You said they had races tomorrow morning. So they stop fighting and they say, "Oh, you're right. We got a race tomorrow. We're pretty drunk. We should probably stop here." And the other one's like, "No, fuck you. You fucking insulted my dinosaur. Like, what are you gonna do about it?"
I think I'm gonna try to intimidate and be like, "Don't go breaking the bar over a stupid disagreement."
Okay, roll for persuasion. And
Oh,
you
that's persuasion.
yeah.
What
Or
is it, man?
intimidation,
Can-
your
Oh
choice.
yeah, I would
You'll
much
do better
rather. I would
tomorrow.
much rather do intimidation. Yes, I would much rather do intimidation.
Okay, and they say, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, whoa! We don't mean any offense. We won't break the bar." And you see the bartenders is like, "Yeah, I mean, I'll pour you guys a drink of your choice if you just stop fighting." So yeah, that's in that fact, we'll have the dinosaur piss, and everyone at this point shuts up. And is like, "Oh shit, they're gonna drink the dinosaur piss." Are you guys taking off, or what's going on?
I mean, write down their
That's
names
right.
so we don't bet on them tomorrow.
Wait, who is the guy's name who won last week?
I'm
Bet on
assuming
that
you're
guy.
like asking the guy that's standing next to you or whatever.
No,
Yeah.
I was joking, but yeah, you go for that.
Felipe. He's the one who won the last one.
Felipe.
Felipe.
Felipe?
Felipe.
Flippy!
Felipe?
Say it with
Okay.
me now.
Flippy!
Felipe.
Where's the gnome?
Got it.
It's Felipe.
He is
He's
not
more
no
fancy.
motherfucking gnome. His name is Felipe. He is a human
That's what I'm saying.
being.
That's what I'm saying. Well, she had said Flippy, and I'm like, no, that's the gnome. This guy's fancier. He's. Eh.
And Zola says, "Oh, I think we should get out of here. Those guys don't look like they're up to any good."
I'm
I
good to
follow with-
leave.
Yeah,
I follow.
Brandon and I are
And the lizard
Walking
dragon
across the
looking
street.
being is crawling up around her neck and like kind of standing on the top of her head and looking left and right. And she says, "Yes, I think we should get out of here too."
Yep.
I think we've done what we can here.
Can I come with you guys? Is
I
that okay?
best idea to just make our exit now.
Yeah, you can tag along.
Yeah, Zendala, come with us.
Okay, thank you,
Yes,
thank you.
definitely.
And you
Okay.
guys head out. And you guys, are you guys headed to the other inn that you heard about, the House
Yeah.
of Repose?
House of Repose.
Sleep off the drink and just get the fuck out of there.
So kind of behind you as you're
Away from
leaving,
the
you
stab
hear
attacks.
a fight break out again. And you're leaving just in time, and you're headed towards Kaya's House of Repose, which is much quieter. As soon as you enter in, it's like you hear music, only like with harps, and again, you don't kind of see the source of this, but it's very like the silence kind of hits you in the face, even though there's like a slight, very small, minor music in the background. And you see a very old lady behind the counter, and she looks up from a book and she says, "Can I help you?"
I walk up trying to be, charming. Yes,
Well,
we were just looking for a few rooms for the night. What can you do for us?
Yes, the rooms for the night are 1 gold piece per room.
yeah.
Yep.
And we have the billboard behind you if you're looking for a job or looking for someone to do a job for you.
Yep. Let's have a look at that.
Let's check out the board.
Check out the board.
So on the board, you see this advertisement with a quick drawing.
I've
I've stood atop every mountain and chult. I know every gorge and crevice, every plateau and trail. My memory is an iron trap. I forget nothing. Trust a dwarf, I always say, because a dwarf will never steer you wrong. Fearless I am. There's no dragon, beast, or undead horror that scares me. You want a guide who runs away at the first sign of danger? No, you want a dwarf, and I'm the toughest dwarf around. Red Dragon bit my arm off, yet here I stand. Takes more than a dragon to stop you, Hackenstone. I charge 5 gold coins a day and expect a 30-day payment up front. Best coin you ever spend, I promise you.
Seems a bit arrogant and reckless, don't you think?
Well, plus he's only got one arm.
And you see another dwarfen advertisement. The jungle is my home. I know it
That's
well.
the other.
I can guide you anywhere and chult for a fee of 5 gold pieces a day. If adventure is what you seek, join my quest and reclaim Hackamar, my clan's ancestral forge. A volcanic eruption forced us to abandon it many years ago. The fire newts that have since taken over must be driven out or destroyed. At the very least, we must sneak in and recover relics known as Muradin's Gauntlet. The fire newts must not be allowed to keep it. If you love dwarven kind, then hear my plea and join me in returning Harkamar to its rightful owners. I will waive my fee for your promise of assistance. And you
Yep.
see similar guides that you've seen at another.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Well,
And Zendala says to you, "Oh, this seems like such a better inn. I think I'm going to purchase a room for me and Summerwise. Um, if you guys are willing to help me, which I would much appreciate, I'll talk to you in the morning and we'll figure out details from there. Does that sound good?"
yes, I agree.
Yeah.
Yay.
In fact, I'll buy a room as well
Oh,
Me too.
you don't
for myself.
need to do that. That's unnecessary.
Go ahead and I'll stay here for the night. I'll buy a room.
Yeah, I'll be buying a room.
We all getting our own rooms?
I'm not sleeping with any of you guys.
I'm still pretty sick, guys. I think I need some
So-
No, I'm not
privacy.
sleeping with
Work
puke
this
either,
one
that's
out.
for sure.
Definitely not sleeping with shite.
Come on, guys.
So that's one gold
I
piece.
haven't quite gotten to know everyone
We'll
enough
get
yet.
cozy
That's
sooner or
one
later.
gold piece per room, Kaya says to you.
Alright. I'll take a room then.
I'll take a room.
It's a circus of value.
Welcome to the circus of value. No, but Ordan and Ruse get psychic images before Zendal leaves, and they get images of Zendala and shields in front of her. And she
Where
goes
are these
up to
psychic images coming from? Are they coming directly from her?
her. Roll me an insight
Yeah.
check.
Alright, let me. Zoom myself here.
So she has a pseudo dragon around her neck. Pseudo dragons can communicate with limited telepathy, which are simple ideas, emotions, images that are telepathically given within 100 feet of their stance. It can understand almost any language, but it can't really talk back to you. And she mentioned this dragon's name was Summerwise, his pseudo dragon.
Yeah.
Feeling like the dragon's telling us, quite trust you yet, so just be warned, she's protected.
Fair enough.
Yep. Well,
So you each get your own room, and these rooms are very comfortable. They're very quiet. It's like the walls have built-in insulation, and you don't hear each other get ready. It's very the quiet is very loud, and you each sleep, and you wake up, and you guys wake up at about 6 or 7 a.m. to small, very simple sounds, but they're all coming from outside of your windows. And it's like a roaring sound that you barely hear, but it's enough just to barely wake you each up at roughly the same time. And as you head out and down to the main lobby, it's quite apparent that there's a large roar coming from outside the tavern across the city. What do you guys do?
Across the city or across the plaza at the other bar?
Uh, Almost the whole entire city, but you definitely are hearing it across the bar. I mean, it's quite one and the same. The whole entire city is loud, and everyone has woken up and gotten up and is. It's pretty easy for you guys to determine that these are the dragon races, and you guys are all included in this excitement. Um, it's all happening outside the door. But as soon as you like open the door and walk outside, there are people flocking towards kind of the main area here, and there's like flags and ropes set up, and it seems like everyone's getting ready for the dragon or the dinosaur races.
Hmm.
Just I
Yep,
really want to know what's
races.
going on next. I might have to get off here pretty quick.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm right
About
about there myself.
time. I may be pumpkinizing.
Okay, so we'll end it at that. But
Pumpkinizing.
Yeah, you know, like at midnight, turn back into the, everything turns back into the pumpkin.
No, I got the reference. I just
You got
loved
it.
it.
So I think, we need to decide about River and Flask. We need
And
to
the
go back
other
to the
guys.
temple. And the other guides, we need to go back to the temple.
Yep. And apparently we're going to be watching some dinosaur races.
I
we
like
can watch
Musharib.
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 I kind of liked him the least.
I kind of like Dazaka.
That was my favorite one, I think. Help her out with her quest and we get a free guide.
And she doesn't want five. She doesn't want the. She doesn't mention or add the 30 days up front.
She did, but
Did she?
Yeah, she does.
yeah.
Like,
But
She'll
that
waive
doesn't
it.
all of the
Understand.
danger signs pointing at Firefinger is probably going to be driving us there anyway.
Yeah.
It's the fire.
I don't know. Maybe we see what the temple guy grandfather, what his
Okay.
direction tells us, and that might make it a little easier to decide the guide. Perhaps.
Yeah.
Perhaps.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Oh.
I think we should have at least test the waters and have the guides take us out for, like a introductory jungle journey. Seriously, that might be a fucking wise idea.
A test drive.
Yes.
I think we
Let's
should
try
them
if your
battle to
guide
the death.
skills.
No.
Keep in mind, this is a timed adventure, and you do have a specific amount of time until the succeed or fail conditions are met by the person who hired you.
Okay. Yeah.
So what do you guys think? Are you liking it so far?
That should be pretty interesting.
Just take the bartender with us.
Yes. Yeah, this is great. Oh,
Honestly,
about all
I
the
think
side
the reason
Huh?
honestly, I think the main reason I was just inclined to trust River and Flask is because in that moment, I trusted them more than Shite. But I imagine that's going to be a common problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got some ideas about stuff.
He did try to threaten the only person who was like individualized from like Syndra Sylvain before you guys got started. He's like, "Oh,
Yep.
you're a new person? Fuck you. I think you're into something that I don't know."
Yep. Pretty
here's
much.
here's one thought. So River and Flask, if they really are working for the Zentrum and don't want money, might want some help getting, that whatever debt that is paid off. We know the Zentrum have a huge ass ruby. They're also looking for what's it? Cyber
Artisimber.
Artisimber. Yeah. I wouldn't mind taking down the Zentrum.
Oh, impossible. Impossible task.
Maybe the local clan. I don't know if we could get that ruby. So if we do work with River and Flask, maybe we could get somehow more information on the Zentrum.
And
Let's go.
or
and
the
what's going on
Zentrum
there.
all over us.
We're also we got to figure out the.
I'm not afraid of the
story.
Zentrum.
Okay. Okay.
I got the entire Lord's Alliance behind me. I'm not afraid of the Zentrum.
Miss me. Yup.
So what do you
All
guys
right,
think of the
guys.
new campaign? Good?
Yeah,
Should be pretty
I'll get into the
good.
jungle.
Yeah, I kind of I'm itching for combat, but maybe
I
that's
want
just
to
because I'm a
see.
fighter.
I want to see how dangerous it is.
You guys got kind of close there in that bar, but you yielded and left.
To see in what?
In that bar for combat?
Yeah.
Oh, to getting into combat?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
That's probably good.
I mean, Shite has talked shit to a number of NPCs, and the team has
He
forced
really
him to
has.
yield.
It's been interesting. We haven't even started yet. There's definitely a fight.
Yeah, I didn't want to fight a bunch of racers, especially drunken ones.
Just beat up the fucking small humans. in
Yeah,
the
that's
bar.
not what my guy's all about.
So are we looking at like 3.5 hours for sessions, or
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just depend on how everyone is feeling too.
Yeah.
That's
Hella long week.
close though.
okay? I just want to like plan for how much to prepare for next time, because I mean, sometimes I'll be prepared. Like if I don't know, I was kind of prepared to go till 2 a.m., which is completely fine that we don't go there because everyone has shit to do tomorrow morning, and I just kind of need a little gauge to know how much to prepare and how much not to prepare, so I don't go too deep or not deep enough.
Okay, I get you. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think we start to kind of lose people at least a little bit around this time.
Okay.
Yeah. People are
Historically,
starting
right?
to like. Yeah, people are trying to stay awake at this rate. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I
I
think
agree,
12.
2
I
a.m.
think 12:30 because we're all functioning adults is probably a fucking good time to call it.
Is there any way we could start at 8, or is that impossible for people?
Yeah, that's not gonna work on my end.
What about 8:30?
I mean, we can shoot for it, but it's typically 9, if not a little later. We got a 5-year-old that is just wants to fight bedtime hard these days.
Do you no longer have your mom watching her on Saturday nights?
No, not always. No.
If we could plan for your mom watching her on the Saturdays we play, we might be able to do that for
Yeah.
you, right?
I mean, yeah, yeah. It's also gonna have to plan those times because that's kind of like date night time. You know what I mean? No kids is not D&D time.
Sure.
Well,
All right, well, I appreciate all you guys signing in. I had fun with you guys. Hopefully next time we'll have some more fun. And if you have any questions, concerns, or comments, let me know. Other than that, 2 weeks from today, does that sound good?
yeah, that
Sounds
should be
great.
good for.
Agreed.
Should be good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah, good stuff.
Good deal.
All right, see you guys
Good night,
on.
y'all.
What's the date? Hold on. 27th?
Yep.
26th.
26.
Oh, it's the.
It's after midnight.
I'm looking. Yeah, 26th at 9 p.m. Right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's good. All right,
Cool.
guys. Sweet.
All right.
Thanks,
Later.
everyone. Later.
Yeah, thank
Hey,
you.
good
Night.
night.
Bye.